to. We're a podcast. But
You know
I'm
what?
gonna
That'd be
try and
kind
get
of
it
fun.
working.
I see
think I got
video.
it. I think I got it.
I see video.
There we go.
How do you do that?
Okay.
There we go.
Now there's picture there and there's sound.
Welcome back, everybody.
Let's see if the sound is balanced. Because I messed around with all that stuff too.
We figured it out.
Yeah. How's my voice balanced with everybody else's voice? For those of you who are listening, I guess. For those. Of you who are
I
listening.
should probably turn that back on.
sounds
You're
okay
quiet.
to me.
I'm a little quiet.
I my ears.
Rip Matt. I'll just talk a little louder. We'll pretend it's fine.
I can't tell if that was just my. Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
It sounds fine to me, Josh.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm
you're
just gonna
probably
make
fine.
sure Kenku is still working, and then we can start.
Okay.
I guess I have to go in
Okay,
and fix all your cameras too, because Trevor wasn't here when I set those up before. So
That is true.
Okie
all your
doke.
cameras are broken.
Okie dokie.
I'm sorry.
You should
Yay,
be.
it worked.
We're all super upset with you, Trevor.
Oh,
Can you feel the
So-
rage coming your way
Yes.
right now?
Yes.
That's how it starts.
I did all I
The
could.
rage
My villain arc,
You
my
said, do
Joker
you
arc.
feel your rage?
that turns good men.
You know, I don't like my rage. Can you take it off my hands? Can you just buy
Yeah, I'll
it
take
from
it.
me?
I'll buy it.
I'm taking $50 minimum.
That's actually not that much for the rage.
For all of your rage.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah.
Should rage against the machine.
Yeah.
I think that's more Alan's area.
I'm gonna take Matt's rage and sell it to Rage Against the Machine.
Well, no, mine's an auction, so you gotta start at 50.
Oh, starting price is 50.
Okay.
Starting
Rage against the highest bidder.
I'll bid 50.
All right. Any other bids?
I'll bid $50.01.
$50
I
and
will
2
bid-
cents.
No, stop right there. Minimum raise is another $50.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stop at 50.
All right, you guys can still hear Kenku, right?
I
Kenku's
can't.
gone.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad we're. I know why. How about now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
here.
Yep, there it is.
sounds very motivational.
Yeah, so motivational.
Where are
You can do the thing.
Yes.
I honestly
Okay.
feel like
Right
this is the
now.
background song to like a startup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
like-
startup's like a 60-second
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
but it's always Gary V's voice over top of it. Like no matter
Here
what.
at
the startup
Truth
is doing.
Bright, we look to the future. Future.
Sit down and imagine for me that your entire family has been taken hostage, and you have to come up with a business in order to save them, and you have to pitch it to the hostage givers.
All right, Jib, turn this into
that's
a
my
Wing Badger
impression.
Tavern ad. Pivot from there.
Yeah, no, that was
Oh
great.
man, my brain is too shot right now.
That's
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Dropping
It's
the ball.
okay.
That
I
was my
think-
Gary V impression.
Yeah, that was a good Gary V impression.
That was good.
Thanks.
We're actually
who's
going
Gary
to
V?
here. I'll put the cameras on screen really quick, so that I can make sure they worked, and also so people can see us. Yeah, look, see that one that just says Elgato on it? Yeah, that's not great. Let's put.
Jake, you're looking great. Have you
I'm
lost some weight?
looking- Oh yeah, for sure.
Jake, you cat, you.
Jake is E.
I'm so thin that I can't be perceived by the naked eye, which is why.
So thin right now.
Yeah.
I'm so still. You can't perceive me.
Okay. Jake, you look a little. You actually do look a little thin.
You are
Go
big.
and fix
You
your
have
camera
lost some
really
weight.
quick. Yeah, you have
Fix
lost.
my camera. I can't do anything. It's the way it is normally.
No. I fixed it. It's fine. Okay.
Make thick
You
wide.
break ice.
All right. To get us back into tabletop brain, we're gonna do.
Oh right, we're playing D&D tonight.
Well, we are, yeah. We're gonna do a little exercise beforehand. We've been doing some different exercises that have just been like stretching us as role players and helping us pick up different skills and things, and we're gonna continue doing those. But the one for tonight is that we're going to build a scene as we act it out. What I mean by that is you're going to the exercise here is to stretch your ability to use the environment as a player. And what you're going to do is each time you make an action, you're going to add to the environment in the room. So the scene that we're doing is we're going to have two duelists are about to, like rapier swordsman duelists, are about to enter into a fight with each other because one of them has offended the other in a bar. And we're going to just alternate whose action it is between the two of them. And at the same time, we're just going to go down the line of us. So I will say an action, and then Matt will add to the scene by saying what the other one does. And then Wash will tell us what the first guy does. And Jake will tell us what the second guy does. And we'll just keep going like that through the scene to elaborate as much as we can. But the focus is that each action needs to include the environment so that it builds a more immersive story around it. So we have the backdrop of knowing this is in a tavern, and that's all we have. Everything else we're building on top of it as we go. So I'll do the first one. So I'll be the offended guy first, right? Offended guy leaps up onto the table and draws his sword, kicking some ale out of the way, and says, "You dare speak of me this way?" So Matt, add to the scene.
My tarnation, kid, if y'all get down on that table and pay for another one of my alcoholic drinks, server, he's knocking it over again. You need to get the bouncer over here.
Okay, now do that again, except add to the environment when you do it. How are you going to interact with the space?
Right.
So you added people who were in the space, but how do you also add to like the visual of what we see?
All right, sorry, give me a second.
1.
All right,
music. I don't know what Artlist is doing right now.
Yeah. Watch out for that giant sinkhole that's been there since the beginning of time, and I don't know why the tavern was built around it. But by Dionysian, watch out for it when you step down from a table, youngin.
All right, Wash, what does he do?
I'm playing the antagonist.
Yeah. Well, you can pick whichever one. Just give one of them an action and add to the environment.
So we'll say the antagonist is incredibly upset, and that the other guy is just completely disregarding him after being insulted, and he grabs onto the chandelier and swings across the huge sinkhole in the ground, and starts to attack the other guy.
Jake, what happens next?
The guy with the Western accent, he sees this man attempt to swing across on the chandelier, and thinking quickly, he looks to his right and sees a keg of ale that someone is doing a keg stand on. He grabs the keg of ale from underneath him. The guy falls down and uses it to block the other guy's sword as he attacks him, which sticks into the keg, and like ale starts pouring out of it.
Into the sinkhole.
Very important we remember that the sinkhole is here.
All right, Trevor, what you got?
So, the guy who stabbed the keg and it's pouring out dives underneath as not to waste perfectly good ale and starts consuming the spilling ale at a rapid rate. So he's doing reverse keg stand now.
Whoa.
And while this is happening, monsters erupt from the sinkhole.
Whoa.
And scatter all about the tavern. The tables go flying, the chairs get pushed around, and everyone is in a panic.
As everyone is panicking, our reverse keg stand guy uses the distraction to enact his real plan, which is to fold at the waist, brace both feet against the keg, and shove it into the face of the guy who has antagonized him. As he kicks upwards, the slippery ale that's on the floor also sends him sliding back into the very important plot-related sinkhole. Matt, what happens next?
As he's about to fall into the plot-related sinkhole that's been there since the beginning of time, and we don't know why it was built. This tavern was built around it, and as monsters are literally biting at his ankles, right? The emergency trap door activates in the roof above, and a swarm of paladins descends upon the entire sinkhole, and starts just indiscriminately knocking anything in its path out. You know, it is a swarm, but it's also an it. It is singular but plural.
Oh, whoa.
It transcends plurality.
So watch what happens next.
Wow, Matt, you must really hate me tonight. So as the paladins rain from the heavens, beating the monsters back into the sinkhole, apparently there's this huge blood feud between the monsters and the paladins while our two guys are having a squabble with their rapiers. They both pull themselves up onto a board that has been stretched across the sinkhole that has fallen down from the ceiling, and they're like swashbuckle style, like chink 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 chink, fencing back and forth with each other, throwing nasty insults back and forth, trying to defend each other's or trying to defend their own honor.
That's dope. Jake, what happens?
But this is while paladins are raining from the sky and monsters are like spewing out from the bottom.
Yeah,
It's a sick scene.
obviously. And so while they're fighting, and at first there were monsters that were pouring out of the sinkhole. We now discover why they were pouring out of the sinkhole. They were trying to avoid the massive eruption of beer that's flowing out of the sinkhole. That's why the bar, the tavern was built on the sinkhole. Is because it's a beer geyser, and so it just begins flowing out, and everyone is just drenched. Yeah, that's what's happening.
So as this geyser begins to erupt, our fencers on the rafters notice this geyser about to blow, and they see that it's going straight through the whole trapdoor in the roof, and it's going to break the beam that they're standing on. So they both leap to the roof as the trapdoor is winching closed, and they both escape onto the roof in the nick of time as the geyser explodes and breaks a hole in the roof and pours beer all over the building and town.
I have to say, if they knew that the geyser was there, you'd think they would have built around the fact that it would blow a hole in the roof.
They forgot about it. It had
They
been so
forgot.
long.
Yeah.
The camera zooms out like movie transition style, blurs, and suddenly we see a wizard sitting there taking notes on his mug of ever-flowing ale, and he goes, "Nah, nobody's ever gonna trigger that bug." And he moves on to the next thing on his checklist. And scene. That was really good. That was obviously more ridiculous than it would necessarily need to be in our adventure, but keep in mind that you have that same authority over the scene as it's building in game. There are some circumstances where like the environment's really specific, and so I will describe every detail to you, but if I just give you a backdrop, like you're in a bar or whatever, like feel free to elaborate on it. Or you're chasing someone through a city street, you can, I hop on the apple cart and now there's an apple cart in the scene. Like that's just a big yes and thing that we can do, and it I think will make our games more engaging.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was also really
And
well
I
timed
liked
with
it.
a drop in the music, so I'm gonna use that and pretend it was intentional. Let's start actual things here. Now, some of you received mysterious messages from me earlier today. One of you replied,
confused.
"I'm so confused right now," to which I reacted, "Thumbs up." Another of you reacted, "I have no idea what's going on, but I'm here for it," to which I reacted, "Thumbs up." Trevor didn't send anything back because, I guess Trevor,
He's over it.
Yeah, he's over
He's
it.
eating steak and potatoes.
But those are your characters for our introductory scene that we're about to play through. And if you didn't receive anything in a message, then you're playing yourself. So let's jump right into the adventure here. The year is 11,018. The darkening is more than a decade away, and a young Owlin Wadrir, still in the single digits of age, scrawny and bookish in his deep blue learner's tunic and trousers, is shirking his studies again for a game of hide-and-seek with his best friend, Makar Pedrin. Now, after the cheap trick Makar pulled last time, simply following you around as you searched for him, you gotta teach him a lesson. And to do it, you've decided that you're gonna sneak through the lobby of the Eos Lore Foundation Guild Hall, which sits exactly halfway up the floating library, into territory you've never been to before. This top half of the tower is only for guild initiates. You know it's off limits, and you know that if someone catches you, it'll be trouble, but you've got to win. And you're pretty confident that
this
the
is
actual...
a calculated risk.
Yeah, the actual guild members, they'll probably be too busy working to chase you very far, even if they do spot you. You have just ascended the marble staircase that spirals the walls of the lobby, and this area of the guild hall is split. At the center, about 30 feet in diameter, is a stack of circular rooms with thick glass walls. Within, artificers appear to be conducting experiments of some kind. These testing chambers are accessed by small bridges, only a few feet long, which extend out over empty air to join the stairs that continue to spiral vertically upwards around the outside of the tower. However, where the stairs used to border solid wall, there are now workrooms extending out past the stairways as well. And in these workrooms, creatures of all kinds sit at small work desks with scribe's tools, performing the delicate work of transcribing, duplicating, and restoring various manuscripts from the library that you have just left behind. Owlin, what do you do? How will you hide?
Oh, golly gee. Well, this is quite a conundrum. I've never been up here. I didn't know exactly how to get farther than this. Is there any way? Because I believe that he will be following me up the stairs behind me, correct? Like, I think that
he's
will...
probably right.
Okay.
I mean, not right on your heels, but you're pretty sure he will have figured out the jig quickly because there are only so many hiding spots in a tower.
Sure. Well, if I only need to hide, because he's taking a similar risk to as I am to get up. Do I think that he'll have the courage to open up one of these doors as I might if I were to like go into the artificer room and just hide behind something convenient?
After the cheap trick he just played on you, you think there is no low to which he will not stoop.
Interesting. Between the artificers and the people transcribing who look the most engrossed in their work, and maybe if some little guy came into their place of work, they would maybe just go, I need to finish my work anyway, I don't care.
For sure, the transcriptionists, they're
Okay,
like bent over parchments and stuff, whereas the experiments are, like they're moving around and taking notes from different angles and stuff like that.
Alan will approach the transcribing room as casually as he can, as if he's trying to it's like take your son to work day,
Just
and
like
he's
the closest one, basically.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He's just well, and then he's gonna try to see if he can just position himself casually in a way that he can't be viewed from the window from coming up the stairs.
Okay, so you basically are making your way. It's like an 8th turn around the marble staircase before you get to the first of these workrooms that extends off to your right.
Okay.
And Trevor, I'd like you to roll a dexterity save, please.
Alrighty. Boop, ba-doop, ba-doo. That'll be a 9.
All right. So, Owlin, you find the perfect spot to hide. You're not too visible, but you're not in anyone's way. No adults seem to have noticed you. And
Nice.
right as you lean back against the wall to kind of, nook into a little corner, you realize that that's actually a door, like a second door into the workroom, and it opens behind you. And an elf woman who is on her way out, arms laden with scrolls, nearly trips and loses them all. She's able to save them, and turns to you quite affronted.
How dare you? What are you doing up here?
I'm trying to find my dad. Yes, my dad.
Who's your dad? Let me take him. I'll take you to him so he can scold you.
My dad is Lars Durkin.
You are very aware that there's no one of that name in the tower.
Yes, that's it. Lars Durkin.
There is no one of that name that works here.
Well,
What are you doing?
perhaps I may just be completely lost. If you could guide me to somewhere where I could I don't know. Talk to someone who
At
knows
that
where
moment,
how
from
can I
your
leave?
position an eighth of the way up the stairs, around this scribe's legs, you can see at the bottom of the stairs, you see Makar's hair poke up like at the entrance, and he has like snuck his way into the lobby. He hasn't looked up yet. He too is like, whoa, there's all these things here. But he's like a little ways below you.
Yes, if you could just lead me to the exit, that would be perfect. And Alan's gonna attempt to hide behind her.
Sure.
Like, see, because he's a little child.
Yeah. Just roll a straight D20.
Okay. 12.
Okay, Makar rolled an 8, so he goes looking for
Let's
you
go.
he thinks you're in one of the experiment rooms because he knows you're so like fascinated by machinery. So he's
That's
like,
true.
he would be in there hiding, and so he's trying to like get an angle through the glass. So right now he's not looking your way. You can go up or down, but if you go down, you'll still have to pass him in the open lobby space.
The
Well,
lobby is this way. What are you doing? The lobby is this way.
Well, perhaps we can find. I might get a better view from up here to see where I need to go. Perhaps we could go this way.
No, you can't go up that way.
Alan
Forbidden
is
for
just
children.
Alan is just gonna try to walk up that way.
I am far too busy for this, darn kids. And she continues walking downstairs.
Ooh, yes, let's go.
Oh, a good escape. You make your way further up.
Apathy.
Yeah. you make your way up the marble staircase, almost 5 stories of this open chambered work area, basically, where there's all these different experiments happening in the center, and then there's things happening at the bottom. You do notice you're 4 or 5 stories up before you look down again, and you can see that Makar has started to make his way up the stairs, although he's checking in the windows of each room, so he's moving a little bit more slowly than you. He's still probably on the 2nd story, and you're up on the 4th or 5th. In front of you is a double-sided wooden door marked cafeteria.
Oh, yeah. I'll go in there.
All right.
Mhm.
You push open the door to the cafeteria, and you find basically a long, like a wide mess hall. It's the full 80 feet width of the tower. There are long cafeteria-style tables, but these ones are slightly curved so that they fit the circle of the tower instead of being long like a rectangular one would be. And right now, there's not that many people in here. It's not quite the lunch hour yet. And so the tables are mostly deserted. There are a few kitchen staff who are, like kind of setting out placemats and things like that, just basically preparing for lunch hour. But you do see one human that you recognize who is on the far side of the room from you by the other entrance, presumably the one that staff would use to come down from the barracks, which I guess are higher up than you are because you haven't seen him yet. And he's over there eating very hurriedly. He's eating a quick lunch, and you actually recognize him as Mr. Baxter, one of your lecturers. And he hasn't seen you yet, but if he catches you, it'll be lines till your wrists fall off.
Interesting. Is there the serving area for like the cafeteria workers? Is there do they stand behind something in order to serve the food?
Yeah, there's like a food, like a cafeteria line. Yes.
Okay. Alan is going to attempt to sneak behind that and see if there's like a cupboard or something that he can try to hide in.
Okay. You sneak behind that, and no one spots you, but you can hear as you do that, Mr. Baxter seems to be muttering something to himself, and he's behaving weirdly.
Do I have to get closer to hear it? Or
as you get behind you can start to make out what he's saying as you get closer.
What's he saying?
I think it's around here somewhere. But if it's not, I could probably go out the back door, but if it comes through the windows, then we might be able to subdue the explosion mechanics, and then if there's fire involved, and we'll have to see about it. I could get a sprig of, use a bit of my toast maybe to put it out. I don't know.
Jeez. Alan is gonna what's the background on this guy?
Mr. Baxter is one of your lecturers. He teaches one of your most fascinating classes,
but
actually. He teaches about artifice, and he does a lot of prototype buildings himself. He's one of the foremost experts on certain types of constructs. But as a younger, you're basically like a youngling at this stage, right? So to him, he's like, well, he's a teacher who knows a bunch of stuff. I have no idea how much he knows. And your relationship with him is only professional, in the lecture hall. It's not like you've interacted that much one-on-one. Although there was that one time when you accidentally broke something and he came over and fixed it during one of your labs, So he sort of knows who you are because he's fixed it there. But what's really unfortunate about this situation is that when he finishes eating, he starts looking around. Even though he probably has no idea that you're in the room, but he starts looking around as if he's looking for someone hiding. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Mr. Baxter.
And
Alan, roll me that d20
around here
for
somewhere.
your
10. What am I going to do with a 10?
Only got a 6.
Okay, so as he's looking around, you're like peeking out so confused, and then like you lock eyes with Mr. Baxter from across the cafeteria. He's on the other side, and suddenly he's spotted you.
Hey, you there! It's not lunch hour yet. Are you ditching classes? Come over here right now.
Alan is just gonna dash for the door.
Okay.
Wait, you gotta
Alan, how
run!
do you dash for the door? Build into the environment.
Alan is going to get out from the behind the little food area. He's going to run for the door, but while he's doing so, he's gonna try to move one of the stools at the tables behind him. He's gonna try to move stuff behind him, and then if there's a couple chairs in front of him, and he's small enough that he can dive underneath them instead of having to move them out of his way.
All right,
and
so
then he gets to
Mr.
the door.
Baxter, you see Alan has to cross the whole room here, so he's made it a little bit of the way, and he's dove underneath some chairs. What are you doing?
I think Mr. Baxter is going to drop his sandwich, grab one of the cafeteria chairs by the leg, and just hurl it across the room at him.
Yo!
Rolled a hit. Reminder, your dex is -1, Mr. Baxter.
Oh yes, that is an 11.
Baby Owlin's AC from under a chair. Just roll a dex save instead, Owlin. So you just have no mods right now because you don't have any classes.
Make it a contested
So
roll.
just roll a d20. Yeah, we'll
9.
make it Oh, so the chair whams into Owlin's back as he slides under the chair. And
That's what being wily, were you? Think you could just run away?
Alan is freaked out. He did not expect this whatsoever. What he was saying was already kind of sounded crazy, but this is is Mr. Baxter a danger to
he's
to
a danger
everyone
to
in this
society.
room right now? What's going on? Alan's only goal is to get back to Makar and be like, Mr. Baxter trying to kill me. This is insane.
from where you're standing, because you were making a beeline for the other door, Mr. Baxter is between you and the door you entered through.
Oh, I thought I was going away from him.
You were running away from him. So I'm saying you're going away from him towards the exit from the cafeteria, which now puts him between you and the entrance you came in through. There are 2 entrances here, one from beneath and one to above. So you're running towards the one that will take you up in the tower, further up.
No, I'm going back to Makar.
Okay, you're going to have to get past Mr. Baxter to do it, is what I'm saying.
I went past him to hide, basically.
Yes.
Got it.
So you are
Okay.
now closer to going up in the tower.
Oh.
A conundrum.
This- Yeah, I guess I don't think I can make it past him.
No,
I
you
guess
just
I'll have
threw a
to go
chair
up.
at you. You just
Yeah, I
got
guess-
decked by a chair. Don't get closer to him.
Yeah, I gotta go up, I think then. Okay, I'll change directions. I'll skid, you know how in cartoons or comedies, character will kind of skid to a halt and then turn around.
Yeah.
That's what
Your
Alan
legs
does.
pinwheel in place for a few seconds, then a little puff of smoke comes out behind you.
He
as you shoot off in the other
actually
direction.
hits a table and knocks over someone else's food in the stopping process.
Awesome.
You jump
and
at the right
then
time. You can do
turns
the
around.
Mario cartwheel jump.
But yeah, he's booking it the other way now.
All right, you're booking it the other way. Mr. Baxter, he's probably too far to throw anything at this point. What are you going to do?
Oh yeah, so Mr. Baxter just runs and dives towards him. And he's like, "You're not getting away from me that quickly.
All right.
Come back here."
He's got the edge on you, so Mr. Baxter, you're going to have to roll dexterity to try and catch him as he escapes. Owlin, roll your d20 with advantage.
You are a little child,
Yeah.
Put a spider on his face.
and
I only
anyone
got a 10.
who's been around a 2-year-old, or any children knows they're wily.
I
Alright?
rolled a 16. So
Squirrel.
Dang.
Mr. Baxter runs and he leaps over the cafeteria benches and he drops his sandwich that he's been eating on this whole time and he just picks up another sandwich that was on the table and finishes eating it and he dives out and as he jumps towards Owlin, he snatches right behind Owlin's head and you hear a little bzzz and you see him pull towards him this little mechanical dragonfly and he's like, "Ha ha. Thought you were going to get away from me," and he just turns around and starts walking away, like he wasn't really focusing on Alan.
It was all about the dragonfly.
Owlin, you successfully make it through the door in front of you, and into the next marble. Well, it's not just a marble staircase at this point. Let me tell you what you see next.
Away from me like
So,
that. Don't you?
beyond the
You wily
cafeteria,
little one.
you climb just a half a flight of stairs, running from the freak that is Mr. Baxter, who well, I don't know what was going on with him, but something was messed up with Mr. Baxter. You climb a
Yeah.
half a flight of stairs past there, and you find yourself at a closed wooden door marked barracks. Now, these sleeping quarters, like the workrooms below, are contained in a central pillar of rooms, 30 feet in diameter, several stories high. However, no more stairs go up the outer reaches of the tower. Instead, the outer section of the tower is also walled off with several signs marked storerooms. As you stand there, uncertain where to go next, you hear a woman's voice go, psst, psst.
Just at the top of the shelves. Don't knock anything over.
Alan's gonna try to find the voice because at this point he's actually worried about Mr. Baxter and is wanting to tell someone about that. Like he doesn't care about the hide and seek anymore.
You go towards the voice
no,
and
no,
you find...
to the left.
Yeah.
To the left. Yeah, no, other left.
Ma'am?
What? Who said that?
Me down here.
You're the same height I am.
It's me. I'm sorry. I got lost.
What are you doing here?
I got lost playing with my friend and I ran. Do you know Mr. Baxter?
Of course I know Mr. Baxter.
I ran into him in the cafeteria and he seemed unwell and I just needed to let someone know. I don't think he's doing well. And I need to find my way back to my friend.
Yes, and you need to find your way back in a tower that you're not allowed in.
Yes, I apologize. We were just playing and it got out of hand. I'm sorry. But I just need to get back and I think Mr. Baxter needs help.
Well, I might be able to help you. So
that would be, as the adult in this situation, I think that would be helpful. Yes.
I can't walk away right now. I'm a little too busy. No! Other left! A little too busy right now. I'm trying to pack up these things, okay, for the Lunas. Now, but I might be able to help you win this game.
I won't lie to you. I don't care as much about the game anymore.
Don't worry about Baxter. Baxter's always saying crazy stuff. You're fine.
Is that normal for him? Is he?
That is very normal.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Now, who's this friend you're playing with? And what does he look like?
I'm not sure if I'm completely comfortable sharing those details with you necessarily.
I ain't no snitch.
Fair enough. You got me there. Well, listen. If you want a good hiding spot, if you look straight up there at the top of that shelf, all right, there is an old vent there for smoke ventilation. Should the place set on fire, which, I mean, hasn't happened in the last decade, so I think you'll be fine.
Behind this gnome woman, there is a slate that says this storeroom hasn't had an incident in 1 days.
Oh, no. And if you see someone about my height come in, you promise you won't tell them I'm there?
I promise.
Okay. How do I get up there?
I just climb.
Just climb?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, okay.
You can do it. You're a kid.
Alan will start climbing up. He's just kind of in this state of like, I don't know what's going on, but this is happening.
Becky, get over here.
He'll climb up into the vent and close it after him and kind of peek, have his eyes peeking out a little bit. But
yeah, roll a d20 just for how intense the climb is. You make it up either way. You don't fall.
Okay, 15.
Okay, yeah. So with a 15, I mean, you're a lightweight, little scrawny kid, so like scrambling up a bookshelf is actually pretty easy for you. You climb around some crates and boxes, and you see all sorts of interesting things with weird labels on them that don't really make any sense, and runes and languages you don't speak. And then you climb up to this little vent, and sure enough, it's just big enough for like a small child or a gnome to fit through. You slide through, and you find yourself on the roof of the Eos Lore Foundation Tower.
Oh.
The wind whipping at you is a little startling and brisk, but you're not in any danger. It's not like you're scared. I mean, this is super wide. We're still talking 80 feet in diameter. There's a nice safety wall around the side. All around you are scattered puffs of cloud on a backdrop of brilliant blue. The safety wall is actually too high for a child of your height to see over, so you have no sense of how high up you are. It's more like being adrift at sea, but in the sky. And the roof itself is smooth marble with 5 raised plinths in a circle around it. Displayed prominently on each plinth is a sculpture representing thunder, moon, rain, lightning, or wind, the sacred elements of the Gomteun Church. And leaning against the wind sculpture, watching you with piercing emerald eyes, is a human making what must be an incredibly expensive suit in the deep blue of the ALF look casual. On his wrist is a mechanical timekeeper, small and intricate and fascinating, and a pair of dark-lensed goggles hang loose around his neck. There is some quality about this guy that just emanates cool to young Owlin. What is it that Owlin would see in this guy that is just like, that is the peak of cool?
If he's got gadgetry that's moving around and whirring and whizzing, and he isn't even looking at it, like it's like, this is just a part of the thing that I'm wearing, but it's cool and it's doing stuff on its own, that's cool to Owlin.
Yeah. So and he never seems to check the time. He has this timepiece on, never checks the time. Totally confident.
He just has it because he's got
Yeah.
it and he made it. Yeah.
And as he catches you now sizing him up as well, he says, "What brings a youngster like you the whole way up here? Pretty clever coming through the vent."
I do wish I could take credit for that. A gnome woman down there, very interesting lady, gave me that idea. But it sounds somewhat childish, which, albeit I am a child,
Totally acceptable coming from a child such as
yes.
yourself.
Hide and seek.
Hide and seek. Amazing.
Yes.
And you thought to come the whole way up here. What kid would look this high? What a great idea.
I appreciate the credit. However, I was somewhat forcefully convinced to come up this high by one of my teachers throwing a chair at me. I'm sure he meant no real harm by it, but it was quite frightening and caused me to continue up the stairs.
Was it Mr. Baxter?
Yes, he seemed to be acting out of the ordinary to me. However, the gnome woman down there seemed to say that that's quite what he acts like outside the classroom.
Mr. Baxter recently lost a prototype construct butterfly that he was building, and he hasn't yet solved the problem where it combusts if it flies on its own for too long, and he thinks I don't know, so he's trying to find it and fix it before I find out. That's
interesting.
What's happening. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask who you are, perchance?
What if I show you instead? I have a feeling that your friend is coming up the stairs. And at that very moment, through the vent, you hear Makar's voice echo up to you in the same kind of pompous way that he's always had. "I know you're up there, Owlin. I'll be there soon, and there'll be nowhere to hide." And you hear little hands climbing things. And he goes, come here, check this out." And you walk over to the man in the deep blue suit, and he puts an arm around your shoulders, and suddenly his arm begins to enlarge. And the rest of him begins changing sizes until suddenly you are clasped in the talons of a black dragon. And Garlel flaps his wings twice, launches up into a cloud above the tower so that you can see down, but you are hidden by the mist of the cloud. Just as Makar comes onto the roof, looking around for you. And he's like, "Owlin, how did you do this? This is ridiculous. Do you know how many rules I had to break to come up here? And you're not even here to find." And next to you, Garlel just kind of chuckles quietly. And you are so surprised by it that you shut your eyes tight and open them to see if this is a dream. And when you open them, your feet stand on prairie grass. In front of you, nearly undamaged despite everything, that same rooftop stares back at you from the ruin where the ALF tower fell. If the plinths hadn't broken off in the impact, you could almost believe you were back in that cloud, with the wind whipping your hair and your friend Makar shocked and defeated soundly below. But you're not in the clouds anymore. And this time, you've got the chance to repay Garlel for that favor he did all those years ago. And you know what that means. It means it's story time at the Wing Badger Tavern. We'll be right back, chat.
Woo!
Banger.
Gontes, Kotix, Owara. Long ago, the four ancients created a world in harmony. Then, everything changed when the chat emped magic. Only Kelnor, master of good vibes, could stop them, but when the world needed him most, he vanished. 2 years have passed, and four adventurers have discovered a conspiracy, a company selling magic. And although their roleplay is great, they have a lot of XP to earn before they're ready to save anyone. But I believe they can save the world.
Welcome back to the table. Let's meet our players, starting with Matt.
Hello. My name is Matt, and I play the rogue changeling fox. And there is no sinkhole today.
How about Jeb? He's muted.
Uh-oh. Muted, Jeb.
That's terrible.
I'm Wash, and I play the wizard, dirt molefolk, Jebediah Peppermint. There is no sinkhole tonight.
And Owlin.
Hello. I am Jake, and I play Alan. I've never gotten any of these right on the first time ever. The Azamar Barbarian, Artificer, and I don't know, there could be a sinkhole tonight. We'll see.
And how about Zoth?
Hi, thanks for that play. I mean, Jake. I'm Trevor. I play Zavkug, the orc cleric, who is no longer a pacifist. And I'm gonna double down and say there will be a sinkhole today.
And I'm Josh, your Wing Badger Game Master, and I'm still waffling on whether there's going to be a sinkhole or not tonight. But if there is one, it'll be me who makes it happen, because I do all the exposition on the world. So stay tuned. We'll see if we can work a sinkhole into tonight's adventure. All right. You lovely folks are standing outside the fallen Eos Lore Foundation Tower. It is late afternoon. You've finished your last day of travel through the northern wilds, and you are now staring at this giant tower top. What are we doing?
Hey, Alan, man,
Yes?
were you here when this fell?
My friends were, and I was not, which is part of why the falling of it is quite traumatic to me in some ways.
Zoth is just gonna hug you.
Oh,
I'm gonna pat Owlin on the calf. Pat.
I'm sorry, man.
it's
I
okay.
just wanted to add, sorry to kind of break up the moment. Jeb's rod is not gonna cause weird things to happen here, right? Are we about to walk into a death trap?
That shouldn't be ruled out necessarily. I guess in many ways we don't know what Jeb's rod will do in places of high magical like previous magical concentration, or I guess even in the proximity of an avatar.
I take the rod out and I would like point it at it and I like wave it around. Nope, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, nothing seems to happen. It's still the same direct, unwavering sunlight beating down on you constantly. Still nowhere to sit. Same old barren sky above. You can see distantly to the southwest the Cavorite Mountains you've left behind, the quicksand flats behind you.
So
Off to
we're
the
like on
east,
the edge of a precipice, right?
basically.
Like on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah, so the tower, when it impacted the ground, it impacted vertically and then fell 45 degrees to the side after basically shunting the ground downwards. So it made its own huge crater and then leaned to the side, and that's how its impact finished. So most
Gotcha.
of the like pile of rubble is in this, it's about the height of the tower, so almost 11 stories tall. And that's that's the situation. So basically, the tower roof is looking at you from the side, but you would have to either go all 80 shins up and down the top of it if you wanted to go down without going inside, or find a way in and go through the ruins of the tower, which will all be at 45 degrees. Way off in the distance, further east of you, you can see the silhouette of the fallen peak of Zanir blocking out basically everything towards the horizon.
Alan will point at the fallen peak of Zanir and say, now that is where I was actually born and raised. The library is more of where I was schooled.
I've only heard stories about this place. So that like used to float up in the sky, huh?
Yes, and quite easily accessible by a lot of my brethren who have wings. You know, as you may have seen,
Yeah.
my wings that are ethereal and sprout only when I rage. A lot of my friends, family have physical wings that they would use to access the area. Um, but yes, no, it was quite a beautiful place to be sure.
Well, would you rather go through or over?
Well, could I may need a refresher. Do we know exactly where this avatar is around
I
the tower, or
thought he was buried.
Like towards
is
the
Right.
center,
is
right?
that the best we know?
In the vision, you saw that he was like beneath a stone ceiling, basically in a
Okay.
dark space. But I mean,
Mm.
you wouldn't know how far down or whatever. But it's
Oh,
presumable that he's at the bottom. I mean,
Okay.
sweet,
Well,
sweet underground.
yes. I mean, in that way, it does play to some of our party's advantages. Do we think that I believe it may be best to find the easiest accessible entrance that is closer to the ground, as we can, safely assume that he's, further down. So that way
What if
we
we
can
like,
avoid any treacheries that involve like going from the top of the tower all the way down, if that makes sense. Unless
yeah,
that is
like
the only way we must
what
go.
if we get in the cipher truck and just drive it and jump it off and land it on top of the tower?
With do we have Featherfall? Is that correct?
I
Or
think we
no?
do.
I can't
In
remember
that,
if you got Featherfall or not. I'll check. I think you did.
I would say we have it written down somewhere.
Here, I'll check this.
Let's
I'll
check
check
the
the
user
user
manual.
manual.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the glove box. Why do they never put gloves in the glove box? Have you ever? It's like everything's in there but gloves.
Why does
When
it
it
need
gets
the
to
glove box
wintertime,
then?
I don't know. It's weird.
I tend to put, well,
That-
I guess I haven't had a fancy carriage like this that has a glove box really.
Mm.
But I would expect that maybe when it gets colder, closer to the wintry seasons, I could put gloves in there.
Oh,
That would
that's
make
where
sense.
my food from last night went. I left it in the glove box.
Get
Yeah,
that out of
that's
there.
not an
Don't
ice
keep
box.
food there, man. It'll stink.
It's a perfect
Oh man, the
spot.
manual smells now.
Gross.
What did you leave in there this time?
Well, you know what we had
Well, we had
last
cheese
night?
last night.
Yeah, I just took a little bit of cheese, wrapped it up, used my own, Fox's special herbs, and
Nope, you're cleaning it this time.
You did get Featherfall. It's 10 wingle digits per use. Um,
see, here it is under F for fall.
We
Or
could just
for
like
feather.
drive it off full barrel and featherfall down on top of it.
That would work for me if
That could
that
be
seems
fun,
to-
to
man.
clarify, the roof of the tower extends up. Like you would have to drive up the 80 shins at 45 degrees somehow
Mm.
in order to like ramp off the top of it.
Does
Because
it
the
have
tower
four-wheel
made the
drive?
crater, so there's no space around it, if that makes sense.
Well, what I interpreted this as is we simply drive off the edge of this precipice to the bottom of the crater and attempt to find an entrance near the base of the tower.
That's what I'm saying is there's no space around the tower. Like the tower made the crater by slamming into the ground. So
So like we
the
just
hole
see
is
the top of the
exact,
tower.
exactly poking out.
Okay.
There's
And how much does
there's
the
no
tower-
wider crater.
How much does the tower go above ground level?
You are looking at probably 50 shins of like above ground level because it's on a slope, so it's like the full
Gotcha.
80 shin diameter of the roof is exposed, but it's probably more like 50 shins vertically.
And is there any chasm like or pit between us and like the edge of this tower, or could we like walk up and like
You could walk up.
touch the tower?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's just park this cipher truck here, and I don't know. We can climb it. I mean, it's at an angle. We could just go around the backside and climb up.
Hmm.
If it's at a 45-degree angle and it's like stone,
Well-
it shouldn't be too incredibly difficult.
Sure.
Let's not burn any sunlight then. And Fox
Yes.
goes forward.
I mean, we're about to not be in sunlight, so
Yeah,
I understand the
I'd rather not be
spirit
stuck
in which he meant what he said.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to be stuck in an abandoned, probably haunted tower that has trauma written all over it in the middle of the night.
we spent more time doing things that were far easier. So I don't want you to get your hopes up.
I'm not sure how to process that
What a
sentence,
roast.
so I'm going to ignore that.
I'm gonna add a die to the tension pool.
Alan's gonna pat both of you guys on the back, all right. I say let's start the climb.
Onwards and downwards, man.
All right.
Upwards first and then
Athletics
downwards. Yes.
from each of you to climb up. You can roll with advantage because it's only a 45-degree slope, but because it's rubble, there's still like sharp edges and stuff to navigate around.
I rolled 2 12s. Can you believe it?
I can believe it.
I got a 15.
I rolled a 7 and a 16, so 16.
I got
have
a
a
10
12.
because I'm too worried about the ghosts.
Yep, Fox, you are not able to find a good handhold to start your climb on right away. And as you're sitting on the ground, sort of pretending like you're looking for somewhere to start or like limbering up, but really you're just procrastinating, you
Totally what Fox would
you
do.
notice that there are some footprints on the ground at the base of the tower that are not your own. It looks like maybe some horses and some kind of bipedal creature, like a humanoid type footprints, walked slowly around here somewhat recently, maybe last night, maybe a couple days ago, something like that. And although they walked around slowly, they sprinted away.
Hey, guys, you might want to
man.
stop climbing for a second.
What are you doing all the way back there, man?
I had to stretch. You know, you don't want to start a climb until you've stretched. Yeah. And anyway, that's not the point. Not the point. Ignore that. All right. I am seeing some traces that somebody else was here before us recently, and I think something
recent?
might have scared them off. We might have scared them off. Maybe, I don't know. Within the
It's-
last 24 hours.
It's somewhat possible that there are creatures that have moved into these ruins. I somewhat doubt them to be undead,
looks
as
like
there was some loss of life by the falling of the library, but it wasn't as severe due to like the ability to like people to escape, whether with flying with their wings or with magic. But
Alan, I don't think it's a creature.
so do you think?
I think it was a scout or something. Like there's a horse tracks, and I'm seeing some some boot prints.
That's what I mean as far as like what scared them away could have been a creature.
Oh,
But I'm not. I guess I'm.
well,
I have
that's
as little
maybe
certainty as
I
you
should
do.
just stay down here. Make sure
You need
nobody's
help,
gonna take our
Fox?
cart. No, be fine. I
You
just
can throw some rope
I need
down.
more time to limber up. I need to limber up just a bit more.
Looking at this objectively, Fox, you've fought an aboleth. I don't think that any little creatures, abiding in this ruin would be that difficult, or at least not that traumatic of a challenge.
I'm not worried about that. Of course not. I would never. No, I'm worried
He's
about
worried about it.
I
the-
forgot
Are you
about,
worried about it?
I forgot
the
about
horseman.
Fox's deathly fear of heights until right now, but this totally plays into it. It's so funny.
No, it's probably like the horseman. He could still be around. What if we're the ones who scared him off? He could be.
Just shapeshift some claws, man. Or like
Fox,
2 more
man.
legs.
We could
Yeah.
tie
More
it to each
arms.
other. That
I'm
way,
just saying-
none of us get hurt. I don't want myself falling and being injured.
I have to watch the cart. That's what I'm. Somebody has to watch the cart.
Yeah, it is quite weird that like there's been multiple times that we've just kind of left the cart without supervision, especially with
That's
how
'cause-
expensive it is.
Maybe
Where
we
you
need to
just-
hire
Jeb
someone
clicks
to
the
do
fob
that.
and it goes weep weep. It's
Oh
locked.
yes, okay, yeah, I forgot about that part.
We can
But-
also look into hiring someone to do that.
Perhaps that could be a good thing to do. But Fox, I do believe that like freeing the avatar, all 4 of us, is more important than like making double checking that the cart isn't
Well,
tampered
I'm all
with.
limber. I just need a bit more stretching. I'll catch up, guys. Don't worry.
Wait, Alan, did you go down towards Fox?
Alan kind of stayed where he was at and kind of talked back
okay.
to him.
You guys can I'll catch up.
Fox, man,
I
tie
got a
this
good
rope
hold
to
right here. We'll
yourself.
wait for you.
You guys don't have to wait. I'll be
Zoth
fine.
is gonna throw some rope down. Tie this to yourself, Fox.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you want to just climb the rope, you can just roll with advantage, Matt.
All right.
Like, a rogue with a rope is like you almost don't even have to roll. Like you can just
Zoth
have
is the anchor.
Zoth, take the wheel.
I rolled a 6.
with advantage,
Yeah.
bro.
Dang.
All right, Josh, I have an idea.
Okay.
So seeing Fox struggle, Zoth ties the rope around his waist and just starts like running down the backside, using his weight to just pull Fox up.
That's awesome.
You guys ever
Uh,
seen Mission Impossible 3?
I'm just gonna preemptively roll Dex to not just get beamed in the face and get pelted by the rubble. And I rolled a nat 20.
Let's go.
So you actually jump once, and then Zoth runs, and you're in the air the whole way up, and then you just like latch on like a little June bug onto the like exactly where you want to be. So you're like right next to Owlin now, and the rest of your climb is smooth. Zoth, it's easy for you to get back now that you've like found your footing. The rest of you are climbing quite easily and smoothly.
I intended
Owlin,
to do that.
You find the vent that you came through before. In the impact, it seems to have widened, like, you know, because it was an open space on the stone roof. And so in the impact, some of the other space around it kind of cracked off. And it's actually now big enough that you could crawl back in that way if you wanted to.
It may be farther up the tower than maybe we were originally discussing as far as like finding an easy entrance. But there's a ventilation shaft here that I've actually navigated before that seems to have opened quite a bit. We could enter this way.
You see,
Okay, let's go.
this
This
How-
would
how
avoid
deep is it?
more. Well, I mean, this would avoid more height issues as far as like climbing the outside of the tower. If that's your problem.
no, that was
Fox.
never. Why would you say that?
I mean,
start
it's
to
just an
touch Fox on the
observation.
butt.
I
Come on,
I think
let's
your
go.
observations.
Let's go, pup.
All right.
All right,
right.
sounds like we're going in.
All
We're
right.
going in.
So Owlin leads the way. Owlin, you lower yourself through the familiar vent, and it's that sense of deja vu that you probably should have expected, but you got distracted in all the lead up to it. There's no lighting at all in this space except for the single shaft of light coming through the vent behind you. You can see collapsed shells, scattered wood box fragments, broken machinery and equipment all around you. There's enough of a pile of rubble that it's not like you need to drop down, but it will still be like slow going as far as like picking your way over things and trying not to hurt yourself. You can hear your own like actions are all magnified and echoing back to you. Every time you kick something, it goes doom, doom, doom in the distance because this is so tall of a space. This was 4 stories tall of storage. And so this whole area that's now just this collapsed, it's like
Or storage stall.
the room of hidden things in Harry Potter. It's like that, you know, it's just this big endless expanse of piles of detritus from the impact. You can smell the broken wood of all these crates. You can smell the corroded rust of the metal equipment that's broken, and you can taste the stale air in the room where it hasn't moved for, 3 years now. It's about 60 degrees Fahrenheit inside. It's chillier because of the shade, but you're not so far from the sun that it's like cold. You're still able to move without any kind of impact. And yeah, you lead the way in. The rest
Home
of you
sweet
follow
home.
behind him, and you see all the things I just described, except that Owlin is kind of leading you forwards. As you get to the base of this pile of rubble, you realize, like all of you realize, a half second too late, that this storeroom probably did house a bunch of magical equipment. All of you roll me a dexterity save as the weave comes into contact with a bunch of magical things that have fallen and broken and all kinds of things.
Fox
12.
is never unprepared. I got a 22.
Nice, Fox.
12 for me.
Are we rolling a straight like what
It's a dex save,
dex save?
basically to take cover.
Yeah. I got a 13.
Also a 13.
All right. Fox, you successfully dive to the ground and nothing happens to you. The rest of you will only take half damage. The first thing that the weave comes into contact with is a single broken piece of wood. At the very last second, as it's about to happen, Jeb, you recognize it as a wand of magic missile. And so as the weave activates it, it expels all 10 charges in random directions
Oh,
throughout
no.
the warehouse. The 10 charges hit all kinds of different things, and different effects happen. I have a chart here of the things that can happen. What I'm going to do is roll down the line for what happens to each of you. There are 10 of these, so let's see what happens. All right, the first one. Fox, you are You don't take any damage because this didn't have very much damage to begin with, but a shelving unit just absolutely collapses towards you. And so you dive out of the way of this shelving unit. At the same time as that happens, Jebediah, you turn both invisible and blind for 1 round. You're just like... So the rest of you can't see Jeb, and Jeb can't see anything. Okay, we have Zavkug. You get 2 actions as a potion jar shatters near you and some of the oil speeds up your action. You feel like haste has been cast upon you. So you can do 2 things. We'll come back to find out what they are in just a second. Owlin, you have resistance to all damage for 1 round. So as all
Alan
of this
just
stuff
feels like he's
explodes-
raging.
Yeah, so all this stuff that's exploding around you is like bouncing off of you and you're just like, feels good. It's like the debris is rolling off of you. Okay, tell me what each of you are going to do as these things go off, and then we'll do the next 4 magic effects.
I'm crawling underneath that shelf that just collapsed. Is everybody okay?
Where you at? Did we get transported?
No.
Jeb, where
I
are
think we
you?
got teleported.
No,
What?
we did not.
Jeb, where'd you go?
I'm right here.
Where?
I don't see you.
I'm going to wander in a random direction with my hands out in front of me, because I presume that like a darkness spell just got cast or something.
Well, roll any die. We're just going evens and odds. Trevor, is it even or odd that's going to... He sets off another magical effect.
Even.
Even. What'd you get?
Got an 8. Also, we got a boon from Belly in the chat.
Awesome. You got a boon, so I'll only roll on the half of the table that are positive magical effects.
Yay.
Ooh.
Okay, Jeb, for the next 3 minutes, you are surrounded by a faint aura of music. What genre of music surrounds Jeb for the next 3 minutes? What's playing?
Oh, I'm sure it's something that's like okay, I think it's like the marching band theme of the school here.
Okay, so like something classical, something very classical.
It's just like da 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 da, like
a
somebody
marching
just
band.
like
Yeah.
scored it
a
up
fight
or something
song.
like that. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I can go as granular as marching band, but I'll get an orchestra playing something classical here.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know you were actually gonna change it.
Okay, so this
We had
is
a
just
very
sort of
intense fight song.
surrounding
Yeah.
Jebediah as you're all going through this adventure.
This is
Do
a
we hear
very
this
intense
too, or is
march
it just
song.
Jeb that hears this?
You can all hear it, but it's following Jeb around. It gets louder if he gets closer and softer if he gets further away.
I'm gonna
I can
spend
hear you
both my
guys.
turns trying to find Jeb.
Okay, you follow the music and you're able to find him. You wrap him in a bear hug just as he becomes visible with this music playing.
I got you, buddy.
Oh,
Alan,
you
what are
did it.
doing?
Alan just like probably draws a weapon, probably draws his great sword, and is just like, he doesn't look like he's about to hurt anybody, but he just like is in combat mode suddenly. Like his stance is just like he was in raging mode, but his eyes are kind of shifting around, and his voice is still his normal voice. He's just like, this isn't quite right. This must have to do with
At that
with
moment, the
rod.
next 4 of the 10 charges impact things. Let's see what happens. Fox, for the next 5 minutes, when you try to speak, only bubbles come out of your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I hope you bright your bubbles.
Jeb, I need you to make a save. You can pick the ability mod you want to use. There's so much magic that it doesn't really make any sense to like lock you into one.
I got a 13.
Okay. Your 13 is enough, and you dive out of the way just in time as Fireball goes off just a little
Whoa.
ways from where you are. And because you
That-
dove out of the way while hugging Zoth, you pull him to the side as well. So it's like you saw the necklace of fireballs falling through the air, and you were like, get out of the way! And everyone dove for cover. Let's see what happens to the next one here.
You end up in a twirly dance to the music.
I really wanted to roll this one, but I didn't want to fudge it. I promise the numbers lined up. Zavkug turns into a potted plant until the start of his next turn. While a plant, you are incapacitated and have vulnerability to all damage. If you drop to 0 hit points, you just revert to your normal form. You don't die.
Dang.
So Zoth and all his possessions just pop, and he's a potted plant. So as you leap out of the way, Jeb, Zoth next to you is like, what is? And then turns into a plant.
I think we were spinning, like dancing. So now Jeb's like dancing with him spinning around, and he's just a potted plant.
Owlin, roll a d10.
Okay.
I wish I had a plant in my room.
8.
8. Okay, you get 8 years older. Just
Whoa.
like magically. It just happens. You're 8 years older.
Alan will just look at his hands and himself, and is there any way to temporarily deactivate your magical effects, Jeb? This is quite a lot.
I can try. Whoa. You look a little wrinkly around the eyes.
Well, I think I may have aged. Magically, it seems.
I feel old.
How old are you?
Well, before I was. Jake tries to remember Alan's age. I didn't write it on his character sheet.
You were in your 20s before I remember, so you're probably in your 30s now.
Well, before I was what I would consider prime, like just after prime military age. Now I'm closer to middle-aged, I would guess.
Fox, the bubbles last for 10 minutes.
All right. Well, I can try turning it off, and I'll deactivate the rod.
All right, you deactivate the rod. Trevor, roll me a die. Matt, tell me if it needs to be even or odd for him to
Odd.
stop both effects. Okay, if it's odd, you stop both effects. If it's even, you only stop one of them. The other one goes off because there's 2 left.
I rolled a 1.
Okay, so you stop. So you stop both other effects. So you hear very like faint, ephemeral doot doot as the other 2 remaining magic missiles thud into the debris, but no new magical effects happen. The ones that have already happened do not undo. So Fox is still bubbly for 10 minutes.
Photosynthesis.
Oh yeah,
Photosynthesis.
you were only a plant for 1 round, so that undoes now.
Was I a
And-
conscious plant?
Yeah, you were conscious. You were. I mean, you couldn't move, but you were conscious, so you know what happened around you.
A little aside about Alan's age. Alan was actually 36, so now he is
Dang, he's like 40s.
44. And the reason of this is that Azamar's life expectancy is up to 110 or 120 years, but usually in that like kind of 100-year range.
I feel like my age now.
But yeah, this is quite interesting.
What's it like
this
to
was not
adventure with your
expected.
peers, Jeb?
Yeah, well, enjoy the back pain. It's just gonna be a thing.
Man.
Chat
I wish I
added
was
to
a
the
plant
tension pool.
again.
We're up to 3.
I'm gonna
That was
turn
pretty
the
cool,
rod back
guys.
on.
You should try it.
Okay, you turn the rod back on. No new magical effects take place at this particular moment. You do hear something else moving in the rubble. It doesn't sound like it's not speaking or anything. It sounds like a little creature clambering around. Little bits of rubble are falling.
Could I go investigate?
Absolutely. You go investigate and you find a Zorbo. And if you're not familiar with what a Zorbo is, you should Google one because I didn't prepare an image for the stream tonight.
Alrighty.
It is a small Ewok-looking fellow, but a little bit meaner and with the rat from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles beard. That's the best way I could describe a Zorbo to you.
Alrighty.
But it is climbing over the debris, almost like it's peeking its head out from underneath somewhere that it took cover. It looks at you, and you look at him, and it goes.
Zoth is gonna take a little bit of ration and hold it out in his palm.
It very like tentatively, comes towards you and sniffs towards you. Roll animal handling. It sniffs towards the food you're holding out.
That sniffing though.
Wing Badger
9.
ASMR. Okay. It snaps out and takes a bite at the food. It does get some of your hand as well, but you're pretty sure it didn't mean to. It just was trying to take the ration and run away with it. You take 1d6 of damage. Oh, and I
That's
rolled a
fine.
6. You take 6 points of damage
Dang,
as
ouch.
it bites you on the hand, takes the food, and scampers away into the distance.
Do the rest of us see this?
Yeah, you saw it.
Bye, little fella. Sorry to spook you.
He did not seem as though he meant us harm, but we may need to be careful, as I kind of said before, exploring this area.
Just gonna wrap his
You-
hand.
do you recognize those? Like, do those things used to be around here when this place was, like, is this somebody's pet's ancestor or something?
Lore question, Josh. Was that were Zorbos a thing?
No. I mean, Zorbos existed, but it's not like it wasn't a
Hmm.
pet or anything. It has probably
That's
moved
what
in
I
since the
thought.
thing fell. They like dark, damp
Yeah.
places. So
And it more likely just to be a creature that has moved into here since it's become a convenient environment for it.
What do you
As
think,
you-
Fox? Should we go after it?
So
I just-
What's
I
wrong
love to
with
see it.
Fox, man?
Brad, the homunculus winged badger, will fly around and pop his bubbles as they
okay.
float up into the air.
Yeah, like just
Zoth will
playfully,
join him in popping the bubbles.
easily pops all the bubbles.
Fox, if you can say my name, I'll give you all my wingle digits. Ah, too bad.
As you're kind of standing around trying to mentally recenter after the chaos that was all the things that just happened, Owlin, you're the first one to notice that you are standing, it's obviously still at an angle, but you are standing on one of the windows of a bedroom in the barracks. Like, it's a
Mhm.
paned window. But through it, you can see the nameplate on the inside of the door. It says Makar Pedrin. This was, once he became a guild initiate, this was
Mhm.
Makar's room. Obviously, there are none of his things in it now, because, or I guess there are his old things from when he, fled the tower, but there's none
Mhm.
of his, recognizable possessions because he would have had them on him. But there's, spare sets of clothes and, little tools and things like that in there. There's, little journals that he was probably, I don't know, scratching out notes and stuff in.
Mm-hmm. Alan will point it out in like a fun way of when you're showing your friend a thing from your childhood. Yes, if you guys look down here briefly, this is actually quite a coincidence that I forgot that his room was right on this level right here. But Makar's quarters when he was studying here are right in there.
Your old stomping grounds.
Yes, exactly. In fact, I have a great memory of that roof that we climbed up, and that vent from hiding from him for hide and seek.
Did you win?
That girl that Makar ended up marrying, was she living around here as well?
Oh yes, they were both studying here. Yes, but yes, I did win with the help of Garlow. In fact, it was quite a story that not many believed when I told it afterwards.
Well,
but
you can tell us, man. I'll believe you.
a quite happy memory for me. Oh, I was hiding from Makar and went up to the roof, and Garlow happened to be there, and he just picked me up and flew me into the
you
sky.
met Carlo, man?
Yes, it was quite amazing. He was
What was
very
he like?
very kind, very a bit mischievous in a childlike way, but in a good-natured way.
Like in an old wizened sort of way.
Yes, but not old.
Mm.
Cool, calm. Couldn't be bothered, but in a don't worry about it kind of way, not in a dismissive way.
All the more reason to save him, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, those are
agree.
Zoth vibes, if I ever heard of them. What is all of your passive perceptions?
13.
18.
12.
All right. Whoever
Yeah.
had the 18, you notice something kind of squelching along the floor towards you. Some kind of ooze. Now, because you're in basically darkness, with just a tiny bit of dim light, you can't make out colors. So you don't know what particular color of ooze it is, but this is a sentient ooze of some kind that is slinking along in your direction.
Is it coming from the bedroom or from the room we're currently
Just from
in?
the pile of stuff,
Okay.
the storeroom.
I'll point it out. Guys, there's something oozing towards us.
We'll deactivate the rod.
If
The ooze continues moving.
Yeah, I'll reactivate it.
if we move, are we moving away from it if we continue to move the way we're trying to get to?
Yeah, if you continue going deeper into the tower, you can. I mean, it only moves 10 feet, so you can just go around it. Like its speed is only 10 feet.
let's just outrun it then.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
You step
Come on,
around.
Fox.
You step around the ooze. avoiding a little combat, you make your way down towards the cafeteria, because that's the next room. So obviously it's not quite vertical stairs, but you sort of balance your way down the half staircase that leads to the cafeteria from here. You open the door, and Owlin, you're hit with all the nostalgia of actually good food in this cafeteria, and also that one time that Mr. Baxter threw a chair at a construct, but you thought he was throwing it at you. And as you enter the cafeteria, we're going to take a short break chat for Jake to tell us about a little food-related adventure of his own. So I'm going to turn it over to Jake while I go and catch up on my notes here, and we're going to put 10 minutes on the clock and let him talk to you guys about the fun things.
Well, I'll preface this whole little segment with that I went to this cool local comic game movie store that's in my town. Whoa, we got the Interstellar music going.
Awesome.
And found this book. I'll grab the book here. 1 second. It's called Dungeon Meister, and it's like a D&D themed cocktail book, like alcoholic drinks, but you could also make them virgin if you wanted to. Let me grab it real quick.
I'll get some tunes playing as well before I leave you to your adventure here.
Here it is. I think it looks quite neat. Hopefully you can see it in my little thing. And it's got lots of D&D themed drinks in it. And my thought process was it would be kind of fun to like make one for D&D each week and test it out and talk and give it a little rating. I think that'd be kind of fun. So there's like different chapters in it that are based around different things in D&D. In the first chapter, who's playing the music? Am I the only?
Jake, that's a stream. Don't worry about it.
I'm
This
so
is
confused.
drink time with Jake.
Okay,
Yeah,
This is the drink time with Jake music.
I'm trying to turn off the music. 'Cause it's really
Jake
loud in
does
my
not
headphones.
appreciate
It's
music.
really loud in my headphones. I'm doing one ear now.
It's totally not a mimic. You can turn down the volume.
I
in
thought
Discord.
I did. I turned it all the way down.
Do it again.
I did.
Do
Okay.
it again.
Mute. That's different. Okay. Why is this my Spotify? Who's pranking me right now with the Interstellar music? What's going on?
Oh my
Anyway.
goodness.
Okay. I don't know what's happening. I'm just gonna get the drink out of my
go
fridge.
get the drink.
I'll be
Go get
back
the
and I'll
drink.
explain it. Yeah, sorry.
All right,
Alright.
Matt.
It's just us now. Me and
Yeah.
you.
The Bubble
Matt.
Man.
Matt and Trevor. Foxen's off.
Bubble
Classic
Man.
duo.
And
Never
Plant.
mind. It's ruined. Wash is back. It's ruined.
Yeah.
My back is not ruined. My back is perfectly fine.
I didn't you just start complaining about when Jeb gets older, he's having back problems?
Belly told us
No,
to
that's me.
hydrate,
Oh,
but he didn't
true.
redeem anything. He just yelled at us in chat to
We
hydrate.
should in general. So
Middle
you
age
know
kind
what?
of sucks with back pain.
Belly cares about us, and we care
Belly
about you,
cares.
Belly.
We do care about Belly.
We do.
Belly is best.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Our favorite spider.
Okay, I love how it may have been an option we forgot to set back on, but I like how you're like, I'm just gonna put it in all text. Then it's like all caps. It's like, yeah, it's a free hydrate.
The Interstellar music is still playing in my headphones, and I don't know why.
Is there anything on your volume mixer?
Is that because can you guys hear that at all?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's my wallpaper engine.
Excuse me?
Do you
Hold
just use
on.
the Interstellar theme on your
All right.
wallpaper
No, it's
to
an
like
Interstellar
inspire you
themed
sometimes?
wallpaper that like
So
wallpaper engine must have glitched.
two things. All right,
I'm
two
so
things.
sorry, everybody.
Wallpaper. Why did you put an engine in that? Okay. and two, why? How does it make it sound? It's supposed to just cover your walls.
It's a Steam thing. It's you can do these cool animated wallpapers. Anyway, this is a complete
Next, Jake
sidetrack.
is going to tell
I
us
thought-
that he uses screensavers.
I thought
Yeah, right.
someone was pranking me and somehow like
Steam
the
is pranking you.
Interstellar. I thought the Interstellar theme was
You
just
pranked
playing
yourself,
really
kid.
loud.
Tell us about your
Okay.
drink, dog.
Anyway, so the first chapter of the book is like all D&D race themed drinks. So the first one is called 3 Halflings in a Trench Coat. The proverbial 3 halflings. And here's the drink right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. Hopefully you can.
Oh, I can. Yeah.
The 3 halflings in the drink are 3 different types of rum. So there's a little bit of coconut rum, a little bit of spiced rum, and a little bit of white rum. And it's mixed in with lime juice and grapefruit juice and club soda.
Most importantly, did you layer it?
That sounds amazing.
I mixed it. I mixed it all up. I didn't like layer the.
Is that something that should be layered?
I don't know.
You missed an opportunity for an awesome picture.
The drink is supposed to be mixed according to the book. So, but
yeah, Matt,
this will be the first of a weekly thing.
Bubbles.
I'm trying to go through it one by one. I'll give it a rating out of winged badgers. It'll be between 1 and 5 winged badgers. No, yes, wingle digits. There you go.
Yeah.
And how
many wingle digits would you pay for this drink?
Another thought I could do that, but then I could do it with like I would pay nothing for it. That'd be like 0, or I would pay a wing for it, or I would pay a wingle for it, or I would pay a wingle digit for it. And like a wingle digit is like best.
I'm here for it.
And okay,
yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna give it a first taste.
Oh.
It is strong.
It was all rum.
It was mostly rum. It is strong like Owlin.
Yeah, 3 halflings.
I like the grapefruit juice aspect of it, and the coconut rum also fits better than I thought it would too with that. The lime juice adds a little bit of a kick to it that I don't know that I would include if I were to make it again. But I would pay, I don't know, like it is strong. It's fine.
Did it give you amounts to put in, or did it just tell you use this?
Yeah, okay. It's just mostly rum.
Okay.
I would pay a wing for it. Like
Okay.
it's not like I'd be like, no, I don't want this. But I would pay a wing for it. And something that I think is also fun is there's like flavor text with each drink as well.
Yeah.
So I'll read the flavor text about it as well. I should do that beforehand from now on. I'll learn that for the next time. But
Learning process.
it is well known that there is a little more terrifying or confusing than the combined might of 3 halflings in a trench coat coming right at you. In the same way, the 3 rums that find themselves hidden in the coat of sweetness and sour juices are sure to be a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. That's a little flavor text. There's also a little more flavor text where it's originally there were only 2 halflings in the trench coat. But that was just so they could get into bars and restricted movies. It wasn't until an enterprising third joined in so that the world was to know the true power of a wobbly mass of 6 arms in a dapper fashion sense.
Well, do you get the sense that she'll grow 3 more arms? Or
no, but I do get the sense. I think the kick,
arms?
only 3 more arms.
One of them was an amputee.
I do. The kick that this has with all the rum does like give me a sense of foreboding of like there are 3 halflings that are like that's the power that they wield is the
they're
power
gonna kick your
of this
butt.
kick. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, pretty good.
We'll
I would
kick your
pay a
butt
wing
and
for
your
it.
back
Okay.
and your head at the same
One
time.
wing. Are we gonna record this somewhere? Do you have a journal?
Yeah.
Oh,
you
that's
should
a good idea.
You should put text on the screen at some point and just like have a list of all the ones you've checked so far, and then you can flash on the screen like 1 wing.
For posterity, I'll write a little note in my phone. I see Belly talking about you should try a Krakatoa, buttermilk vodka, and an Alka-Seltzer.
Buttermilk?
I can't tell
Okay.
whether that's a joke or not. That sounds kind of disgusting to me. But
It's very on brand for Belly. It's hard to tell if he's selling a joke or not.
Wow.
You should
And
keep the list of them once you've determined what the prices are, and every time you guys go to a bar in the future, that'll be like what's on tap, and we'll
There
know
we
the
go.
prices based on what you
That's a
rated
great
the
idea.
Solid.
drinks.
So Krakatoa totally is a drink name, but you
Okay.
can literally put any English word in the dictionary, and you
And
would
then-
get a drink name.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, buttermilk vodka.
Chat says they will reveal that this particular drink is a joke drink.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like,
Just
that
this
sounds
once,
disgusting.
they'll give you the deets. They'll give you the inside information.
Josh, I just gave awesome reaction face.
Oh, good.
Whoa.
You
What do you
should
get that?
forget about it, and we'll never speak of it again.
Cool.
Nope. We're gonna speak of it.
I'm glad that we shared this moment where you shared that information with me.
Hold on, let me clip it.
Jake, are you in general? Are you a rum person?
I'm more of a rum person than a lot of people I know. It's not my favorite variety of hard liquor, but I like it.
So
Okay.
we're at 30 seconds, just so you guys.
Okay, yeah, there you go. That's the
All right.
segment, everybody. The
Oh.
kinks will iron out as we go.
Yep.
For the last 30 seconds, what are the names and backstories of each halfling?
One of them is Ryan. He really, really wanted to go see this R-rated movie. The other one's name is Trevor, and he was mixed on the movie, but was happy to like have some friends go along, and he's there for a good time, just generally to be with people.
Uh-huh.
Kevin wanted to go to
Evan.
war,
Sick.
and he happened to be the legs, and so he took him to the battlefield.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how they ended up there.
Is this a metaphorical or literal battlefield?
It's a real battlefield.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like he's not referring to the movie R-rated movie
No.
as a battle.
No,
Okay.
they misunderstood. They thought he was referring
They
to the movie as a
misunderstood.
battlefield, but he really wanted to just go to war, and so they did.
Oh,
And
okay.
they couldn't control it because they weren't the legs, but they fought.
They weren't the legs.
We can't get off.
Yeah,
Every morning they roll a die to see who's the legs, who's in the middle, and who's on top.
But every time I
There you go.
misbehaved as a child, I was just told you can't do that because you're not the legs. Like you can't go to
Exactly.
the battlefield, Josh. You're not the legs.
you're not the legs.
Okay, so we find ourselves back in the mess hall. Abandoned tables scattered around you, broken wood and benches. The food area, obviously the food long decayed, is at the top of the tower where it's laying. And then at the bottom of the tower, basically along what is now the floor, is an upright piano that has kind of slid down there and, fallen into the corner. And then like some of the benches and things have all kind of landed down at the lower end of this. It should be fairly easy to pick your way across, but it would not be it would be very difficult to get to the top because there's nothing between. Like everything, this space, unlike the pile before, this is just a floor covered in rubble and obstacles. This is not the same as anything else. I'm gonna clear the tension pool of 3 die to see if anything happens while we're here.
It's
So-
unique.
That one.
Pile of rubble.
Yes.
I don't want to make this place about me or anything, but I am curious if this place is like a place to study magic and whatnot.
Mhm.
Do you know if there would be any like a library that might house spells that I could record in my book?
Oh yes, easily.
The library is the half that you'd been to, like you were allowed into as a child and stuff, Alan. You spent tons
Yeah.
of time there. It's the lower half of the tower.
Yes, it's we will easily reach the library as we continue down. It actually makes up, as far as like if you divide the building into sections of like what is what, it makes up the majority of the tower. So
Mm. I would love to be able to add some more stuff to my repertoire, something for us to take advantage of.
if it's convenient for us to do it on the way, I believe that would be a great idea.
So,
Who's leading the way as you're walking down to
Alan
It's
can
too valid.
keep leading the way.
Alright.
So what you were describing earlier, basically, Josh, if I'm not mistaken, means it'll be fairly easy to cross downwards. Just like coming back up will be more difficult.
Yeah. Coming back up, like you'll have to climb across all of the rubble and stuff, so it'll be more like somewhere between a really intense hike and a fairly standard climb will be
Okay.
coming back up. So probably like if you were going to put a number on it in terms of difficulties and stuff, like you'd probably, I mean arbitrarily basically, out of 20, you'd probably call it like a 13.
Okay.
To get back up. So a little
Yeah.
bit harder than average, but not like undoable.
That
Like
is
the
a very specific yet convenient rating skill you just used.
Yeah, I just figured, Alan's a numbers guy, right? He's an engineer. Alan, as
For
you're
sure.
leading the way, as you approach the piano, you hear a note played on the piano. Actually, everyone hears it, but Alan is closest, so he notices it first. It's a single note, and you hear a voice humming, ding, 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 almost like they're tuning to the piano. But you don't see anyone over there, and there's nothing moving on the piano. What are you doing?
Alan will like motion for everyone to stop.
The ghosts are real.
What note is it?
It's an A, 440 hertz.
I like how you knew that instantly.
Nerd.
Like,
Yeah,
you were
it's my
just like-
piano knowledge that makes me the nerd. I'm running a 3D interactive Dungeons and Dragons campaign on Twitch right now, but my piano knowledge, that's what got
That's right.
me.
Yeah.
Yep. Alan will call out. Who we come in peace as to not to disturb anything in this sacred tower. May
So
I
you just
ask
are like
who
standing where
is
you
here?
are and calling out?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't hear any voice in reply, but you do begin to hear the soft sounds of piano music. Owlin, I would like you to roll a Constitution save.
Oh no.
Yes, Fox, you are still bubbles.
Uh, 11 plus 5, 16.
16. You feel really sleepy.
Mm.
And the rest of you note he hasn't fallen asleep, but you are, for the next minute, it's as if you have one level of fatigue, so basically disadvantage on everything. You just feel really woozy and sleepy.
Do I recognize that something's wrong though?
Yeah, like you recognize something's off. Zavkug, roll a Constitution save.
Ooh. I'm good at those. 10.
So he says.
10.
Dice hate
Zavkug,
me
just
today.
as you begin to register that Owlin looks sleepy, you hear the same piano music that he was hearing. It now begins in your head, and you fall asleep. Zavkug just slowly kind of sways on the spot. He doesn't fall over. It doesn't hurt him or anything like that, but he just falls asleep.
I'm gonna grab Jeb by the shoulders and be like,
I don't know what you're saying, man.
Something's wrong here. Something's magical.
Owlin, I'd like you to roll another Constitution save. Now at disadvantage because of your...
Something's not right. Ooh, disadvantage? Dang
Yeah.
it. 13.
Okay, 13. You are you're like just hanging on to awakeness. You've passed this one. You're just hanging on to awakeness, and as you step back from the piano and passes off to where Jeb and Fox are standing, the music begins to fade from your mind. You still feel a bit woozy. Jeb has his hand up. Yes, Jeb.
I would like to reach into my little burlap sack and pull out one of the things that I bought back at the town. I got a horn,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna start blaring into it off key. Like Jeb doesn't know how to play this thing, but like
Okay.
to try and disrupt the music, just be like,
I'm gonna take advantage of this by slapping Zoth in hopes the combination will wake him.
Okay, as you walk towards Zavkug, you begin to hear piano music play in the back of your head. Play a Constitution save. Make a Constitution save.
I'm playing Constitution, boys.
Hey, Johnny, play the one about a Constitution save.
That one's number 17.
Number 17. Okay, you are not affected by it. Poor Alan was one number off. You are not affected as you walk towards Zoth. You rear back to slap your hands, and Jeb is blowing on the horn, and all of a sudden, Zoth, you wake up with a start, and you take 9 points of necrotic damage as all the nightmares that just shot through your head suddenly feel real as you look around. Psychic damage, not necrotic. As you look around, it looks for just a moment like all of your nightmares became real. And then you like blink and shake your eyes and it's just Fox in front of you.
I look around to make sure that it wasn't real.
It wasn't real.
What just
Fox
happened,
is still
man?
bubbles.
What just happened, man?
It's the piano music. It's doing something to our heads.
This is magical. It's not good. I don't know if it.
Do I still hear the
Has to
music?
do with the
No,
piano.
you no longer hear the
Okay.
music, and for Owlin, it's starting to wear off. Owlin, basically, it was going to last 3 minutes. So
I don't know if it has to do with the piano itself or if it's some sort of spirit.
Did I roll an Arcana to figure out what it might be? What might have
Absolutely.
happened?
Should I just put the rod away, guys?
I don't.
I got a
I'm
15.
not sure.
You got a 15. Okay. This is the perfect thing for Zoth to start deducing, because Zoth, you've heard of this happening with divine magic before, where when there is a great concentration of magic and a great concentration of either good or evil in one place, sometimes these things that are kind of referred to in the cleric world as haunted traps will pop up, where it's a trap that can only be dispelled by like a remove curse or by a blessing or whatever. If it's a good one, then you would go the other way. You would use some kind of evil spell to remove it. This seems to be the same effect, only in the arcane, where it's almost like perhaps because of the amount of just absolute cataclysm combined with the concentration of magic. There was an avatar in this tower who was presumably trying to magic at the time. This huge expenditure of stuff reaching out for the weave, and there was no weave there for it. It would have just concentrated into little, almost like little balls of energy that are just waiting to be activated. And so it is likely that as you got closer, the reason this one became activated is because it came into contact with the weave that is in the Rod of Many Parts.
Oh man, I think that helped me put this place into perspective. I think that all the when this place went down, everyone was trying to cast magic at and save, but there was no weave to activate, so there was this sort of energy dispelled with nowhere to go. And so when we bring our own personal weave here, it's sort of reactivating all that energy that was collected.
Similar to
Um,
what we kind of feared, Jeb, with the effects.
Could we somehow, harness this? Like, could I turn the rod off, run a detect magic to find where it is, and see if we can channel this pocket of magic into like a cipher or something?
Wouldn't you need
I'll add
the
a die
rod
to the
on
tension pool.
to cast detect magic?
I can do it without. Well, actually, I don't know if I can.
Fox is
I
gonna pull
haven't
out
tried
a.
to.
Do you have a
I haven't
scroll
tried.
of detect magic?
Well,
Fox, you're probably
no. I mean,
two-thirds
it's
of
just
the
a
way through your
spell.
bubbles right now.
Okay.
I haven't. Oh, DM. I'm gonna try something.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to deactivate the rod,
Okay.
and then I'm going to try and cast message through my blunderbuss. Send a short little message to Alan, where you're like, "Hey, can you hear this in your head?" And shoot the message to him.
Owlin, you hear nothing in your head.
I heard nothing.
So why did it work back at Tumbleweb and in the Underdark, but not here?
I'm not quite sure. Could it
Maybe
have?
the Sacrium in the ground?
Perhaps.
Or maybe up here, because of all the expended energy, it sort of acts as interference.
Also,
Hmm.
perhaps.
Okay, well, we have to decide then whether we turn this. Yeah, I know Bubbles. Yeah, that's a good point. We need to determine whether we want to try and face these traps and potentially be aware of possibly good magic stuff that we could use to our advantage. Like, we didn't even look through that pile of broken stuff back there. There might have been something good in there.
Owlin, you would
But
know for sure that, like, as part of the guild was a bunch of first responders to catastrophes, there's probably tons of healing things, and there's all sorts of good stuff there too.
Yes, that was kind of yes, there is lots of good healing equipment and things over there that we didn't even go
Huh.
after. That may have
So
been
it's like,
an oversight on my part. I'm
I
sorry.
can.
I didn't think about it either, but it's like, so if I leave the rod off, like, I'm going to be kind of useless to you guys. And that's
I will
fine.
too. I'll be less useful with it off.
But
Well,
we just kind of need to decide whether we flip it off now or whether we want to brave these traps and stuff.
it may be a
I
situation where it may be we keep it off until we need it, if that makes sense.
Do like a spot check, like pop pop, to see what happens.
Possibly, or just keep it off until there's a situation where it's like, oh, it would be extremely convenient to use our magic now. Perhaps a dangerous or emergency situation.
Sorry,
We
it's
should
relevant
probably
to this
light a torch for
conversation.
Fox then.
So I'm going to add a detail that I probably should have given Zoth to start with, but I forgot in my exposition about how haunted traps work. Haunted
Sure.
traps, there's always a sign first. Like something emanates out of the trap to cue you that like, oh, something's about to go off here. Like in this
Oh,
case, you
okay.
were hearing the pianist like checking that the note was in tune. There's some kind of sensory effect. So if you're looking for it, you can, oh, that's a thing, and you have a
Oh,
full
okay.
round. Like, you have 6 to 10 seconds to react when that happens.
Well, then perhaps.
Oh,
the
there's
best-
something I forgot, guys.
Oh,
So, there's usually with this kind of thing, at least with generally like these things happen like for spirits and stuff, that there's usually a sign before something happens, and also with this sort of divine magic and stuff, it tends to be like evil or good spirits, and you can usually like remove the curse. You can sort of bless the area and turn it from like an evil spirit into a good spirit, or just help it pass along, move on.
this seems to be more arcane in nature, though, as you explained earlier.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if there was like a equivalent in the arcane of like converting energy and transferring it,
Positive and
transforming
negative
it.
energy or something.
Yeah,
Well,
transferring
if
from negative to positive and so
if
on.
what you were saying is true about the warning sign, perhaps the best policy could be that
Honesty.
well, yes, that is a good policy. But also that we continue with the rod on, but as soon as we encounter a warning sign, we switch it off.
Or we just
Okay.
figure it out and see if like it's something we could use or correct.
Perhaps, but it may be like as I say before, if it's arcane, I don't know if there's much correction that can necessarily happen. Or it is an intriguing concept though, so it may
Amen.
be good to explore. But it may be simpler at a certain point to just turn off the rod.
The best
Well,
way
I'll
to
keep
fight a
my-
negative is a positive.
I'll keep my finger on the trigger then to
We
turn it
gotta
off.
send positive energy to it, and then it knows.
I'm not sure if that's quite the solution necessarily. But what would entail sending positive energy, if I may ask?
I mean, I have
Hey,
some
Fox.
healing spells.
I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't understand a word you're saying.
I have an
Hey,
inspiration for
Bubbles.
that pun.
Hey, Bubbles, thumbs up or down for rod on or off, man?
Podcast listeners, he has given a thumbs down. Then he has crossed his
Go
legs.
back and check that other room, kill that little ooze
crossed his
thing, and
legs,
see if we
crossed his
can
arms. What am I
find some
saying?
goodies.
I had one job.
Josh, how can you see his legs?
I can't. I'm just making it up. I'm building the environment as I go.
Yes,
Go ahead,
exactly.
Jeb.
Emergent storytelling.
Like
Yeah,
I
do
have,
we want to go back and scout that room real quick and kill that ooze and see if there's anything useful in there before we move on?
like I have the spells guidance and mending. Maybe that's like positive enough.
I guess if we were to go back to the room and gain equipment, now would be a better time than later. I
can-
do wish that we would have done that before.
Yeah.
And I guess we would have to fight
Surprised
the
Fox
ooze.
didn't loot. He loves loot, man.
Yeah, for real.
He was
He may have
blind
been
and everything was
distracted by the
exploding.
bubbles. Yeah.
I accept your apology, Fox. That's really nice of you to like open your heart up to us and everything.
Also,
That's very
how
uncharacteristic. We got some growth
how
going on. Some
bad
real
would it
feelings.
look for our company if we did not loot while we
That's fair.
explored?
Let's go. Zoth sold me. Let's go.
As you turn around to go back, I'm going to clear the tension pool to see if anything gets triggered when you re-enter that room, because that room's a bunch of just like magic items, so they wouldn't be like these haunted
Turn
echo
off
traps.
the rod.
As you step
I
into
got
the
my hand
room,
on the trigger.
as
Just
you
waiting.
step into the room, only one thing gets activated and happens before Jeb is like, switch off the rod, something was happening, and like turns it off. Only one effect happens. I'm going to roll to see what it is.
Ooh.
Fox's last effect is permanent.
Can you imagine if Fox's last effect was permanent? That
I
hasn't
mean, Alan
happened
is
since
8
like
years
season 1,
older.
episode 3. Okay,
Is,
wait,
is
wait,
not
wait.
is the aging thing permanent? I would think so.
Yep.
Dang.
He's
No
wiser
way.
too.
I need to make sure I don't cheese this. I'm going to roll a d4 to see which one of you it targets.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm just trying to be honest here. I want to make sure I'm honest.
I gotcha.
That's an 8, which goes the whole way to the side, makes it Trevor that gets targeted. By
Dang it.
remove curse, Trevor, you're
Oh.
green again.
I'm green again.
Zavkug's colors can't be fixed
Whoa.
except by remove curse. And it's been that way for a whole season and a half. Zavkug suddenly gets all his colors back.
Who am I? Man?
Okay,
That
so
is
it's important,
Actually, quite incredible.
Josh. It's
Yeah.
important. Is it still dark enough here that we're only looking with dark vision and
Oh
we
my
can't tell?
gosh. None of you know. You're
No, we don't
right.
know.
Oh my gosh. So Zoth, you
Nothing
just get
happened.
hit by like a little magical poof in the chest, but nothing seems to be wrong with you.
You
Did
all
you
right?
guys know what that was?
No.
No, I don't know. I couldn't move fast enough to stop.
I feel fine.
Hmm.
Nothing feels different.
Well, it said some of the Alan said some of the stuff in here was like restorative. Maybe it was like
Yeah,
a
perhaps.
like a heal spell, and you're like not
Mm.
injured. So
That's
I
quite
am
possible.
injured. I've
you
been
are?
bitten. I've been
oh, that's true.
it's mind attacked.
Did it heal your
I'm-
hand?
Well, I say let's not
No.
dilly dally in this room too long, as that ooze is probably still oozing around a little bit. So
I'm
let's
still
just take
at,
what we need and go.
About half capacity, if I had to guess.
Alan is going to start taking stuff because he
same.
he knows
Fox
he
is gonna
remembers the
follow.
ooze. Yeah.
Are you
Also,
grabbing things
I
at
would like
random?
to Scrooge McDuck the pile.
No, he's not Scrooge McDucking the pile. He's sifting through trying to find things that look like useful.
Also,
Okay.
Josh,
Yep.
I'm gonna use a healing kit on myself.
Okay.
I'm going to
heal
Scrooge
a little
McDuck the
bit.
pile.
How are you
I'm
gonna
looking for anything that
carry
is not
what-
broken.
Yeah, how are you going to carry what you take, Jeb?
I have a backpack.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, are you taking like, because I mean, there are things in here that are gigantic, and then there are things that are meant to be carried by a single person. So when you Scrooge, there's a lot in this room.
Sure.
So
So here's the thing: is that if it is, I'm looking for stuff that is not broken. So if it is something that is small enough for me to like grab and put in my sack, then I'll do that. If I run into something that's really big, I'll just point it out to the rest of the guys, and then we'll kind of like assess it and go from there, whether
Cool.
we want to do something with
roll
it.
an investigation, and Owlin, roll an investigation.
I'm really good at that.
I got a lot of health back. I'm feeling better.
I'm happy for you, buddy.
Dirty 20.
I got a 16 plus 6, which is a 22.
Nice. All right. So both of you rolled really high. So we're going to find 4 items for each of you to find. And I've got some
Ooh,
tables
each of
here
us.
of
Ooh.
things. Yep. Each of you is going to find 4 things. Let's see.
Please be a little mini golem that can drive our cipher truck. Please be a little mini golem that can drive our cipher truck.
Okay. The first thing you find.
Ooh, we got a boon too.
Oh,
boon
you
in
got
the
a
chat.
boon.
Ooh.
How about we let Fox also roll to
Ooh.
loot then, and we'll
Okay.
add.
What's that roll again?
Investigation.
That is a 16.
16. All right, that's gonna add 3 more items to the tally because I was just doing in quarters.
Ooh, yeah.
So
Also, Alan is having Brad patrol the room for the ooze.
Brad,
Brad is the badger. Alan named him Brad.
Bradger. Okay,
Yeah.
Bradger.
Yeah,
Um,
Bradger.
cool. So Brad is just flitting around the room. Really,
Yep.
he's just like playing around, having a grand old time.
Yep.
Brad's
Little
a Chad.
cool dude. Yeah, Chad Brad. Okay, the first thing you find, Jebediah. We'll go in order down the line here. So we'll go Jeb, Owlin, Fox, and we'll do that each time. Jeb, the first thing you come across is a ring of protection. You gain a +1 bonus to AC and saving throws while wearing this ring.
That's a good one.
The next
Nice.
thing we find here, Owlin. you find a rope that is 30 feet long, weighs about 3 pounds. It is a rope of entanglement. If you hold one end of the rope and you use an action to speak its command word, the other end darts forward to entangle a creature you can see within 20 feet of you. The target must succeed on a DC 15 dexterity throw or become restrained.
Nice.
Box. Your
Mhm.
first item.
Mhm.
Do.
Bubble wand.
Yeah, can he speak yet? It's been like a while.
He will have his sight back by the end of this. Yes.
No, speaking.
That's what I
My
meant.
sight?
I meant your
I
speaking.
see
Bubble
bubbles.
vision.
Yeah, you'll have your words back. You
It
can words
migrates.
again soon. It's almost time for the words.
It's almost word time.
Not ready for it.
Fox, you come across a pair of manacles. They are adamantine in construction, and they are called dimensional shackles. You can use an action to place these on an incapacitated creature. The shackles adjust to fit a creature of small to large size. In addition to serving as mundane manacles, the shackles prevent a creature bound by them from using any method of extra-dimensional movement, including teleportation or travel to a different plane of existence. They don't prevent the creature from passing through an interdimensional portal.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's cool.
Very cool.
You lock someone to a plane.
Too
All right.
cool for
Keep
school.
a wizard from teleporting away.
Yeah.
Jeb, the next thing you find is
More healing kits.
you find a glamored studded leather in Jeb's size.
Ooh.
While wearing this armor, you gain a
OAP.
+1 bonus to AC. You can also use a bonus action to speak the armor's command word and cause the armor to assume the appearance of a normal set of clothing or some other kind of armor. You decide what it looks like, including color, style, and accessories, but the armor retains its normal bulk and weight. The illusory appearance lasts until you use this property again, remove the armor, or until someone disbelieves the illusion.
We're gonna talk about how Jeb's like getting all of the AC items. He's gonna
He
become
needs
like an
it.
AC monster.
I am rolling them randomly, so sometimes that kind of stuff happens here.
He needs it.
Owlin, you actually just got a really good one.
Another one.
Bracers of defense. While wearing these
Ooh,
bracers, you
so
gain a
good.
+2 bonus to AC if you were wearing no
Whoa.
armor and using no shield,
That works super well
which is
because I
like
don't
the
do
only
that.
way that you do things. Yeah.
Yep. Bracers of what? Sorry.
Defense.
Bracers of defense.
Sweet.
Okay. Fox, you found
Yes.
one item so far, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we need your second item. Fox's second item
Yes,
is
please.
a 47.
I would like some more, please.
You find a potion of growth. When you drink this potion, you gain the enlarge effect of the enlarge reduce spell for 1d4 hours, no concentration required.
Solid.
Okay.
The ability of your shapeshifter to also change his size class is a huge deal.
And it changes to like one bigger.
Yeah, one class larger. So your medium, you would become large. So you could masquerade as two of your party members.
And if you become
Nice.
large, you could become large.
Mm.
Wow.
Large.
Good lord.
Good lord.
Yes.
Let's see here. Jeb, you find you find a helm of comprehending languages. While wearing this helm, you can
Ooh.
use an action to cast the comprehend languages spell from it at will.
That's nice.
Very nice.
That'll be useful.
It's funny because he already has comprehend languages. That's why I
Yeah.
laughed when I saw it.
Yeah, that's not useful
You
for
could give
me.
it to someone
For
who
you guys.
doesn't.
It's true. True.
Owlin,
Don't worry, Jeb's making plans. Like he's Scrooge
Yes.
McDucking and finding these things.
this is your third item, right, Owlin?
Yes.
Okay, you and Jeb each have found 3 so far. This small packet contains 1d6 plus 4. Pinch it. Let me just roll that. 5 plus 4. 9 pinches of dust. You can use an action to sprinkle a pinch of it over water. The dust turns a cube of water 15 feet on a side into one marble-sized pellet, which floats or rests near where the dust was sprinkled. The weight is negligible. Someone can use an action to smash the pellet against a hard surface, causing the pellet to shatter and release the water it absorbed. Doing so ends its magic. That is called the Dust of Dryness, and you have 9 charges of it.
Cool
Interesting.
stuff.
Fill the ocean with it.
Fox, this is your third and final item.
Drinking water too.
Okay.
Oop, we got a boon.
We got a boon.
Does it apply to my item?
I thought the boon was. I thought we got a boon a while ago.
We have a new
I think
boon.
that's the same boon.
I think it's the same boon.
Is it?
I think it's the
Yep.
same boon.
Oh, it just came
I
up on my chat.
see
There.
a
Twilight,
bad
new boon.
rising.
Twilight new boon. Sorry.
Yes.
Fox, you found a thing. Let's see what the thing you found is. Fox, you found a potion of greater healing. 4d4 plus 4 hit points when you drink this potion. That is your third and final item.
4d4 plus 4?
Yep. Jebediah, your final item. A devilish 66.
Ooh.
Poetic.
You find a jar of ointment called Keotomes Ointment. As an action, 1 dose of the ointment. Oh, let me find out how many doses you have. Only 1, sorry.
Oh.
1 dose of the ointment can be swallowed or applied to the skin. The creature that receives it regains 2d8 plus 2 hit points, ceases to be poisoned, and is cured of any disease.
Yep,
So
it's good
you have
stuff.
one, max revive, basically. And Owlin, your final magical item that you find.
I get 4 items.
Yeah, you rolled
You
over
do.
20, didn't you?
Oh, I got a dirty 20. Yeah.
Yeah, so you find 4
Let's
items.
go.
Let's see what you found.
Glad we went back, guys.
Yeah.
Me too.
The one it gave you was dumb and already exists in this world differently, so I'm rolling a different one for you.
Okay.
Nice.
Solid.
This is to your benefit, not to your detriment. So I'm just gonna do it.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
No, I appreciate it.
Nobody appreciates it.
Nobody expects the Spanish appreciation.
Yeah. You find a scimitar of speed.
Oh.
Requires attunement. Actually, I didn't check the attunement properties on these, so some of them may require attunement. I don't remember. But you gain a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. In addition, you can make 1 attack with it as a bonus action on each of your turns.
Whoa.
It's a finesse weapon,
Okay.
so you can choose strength or dex. You're a barbarian. You're going to use strength. And it deals straight 1d6 slashing damage.
Okay, interesting.
So, well, I
But it's
assume
plus 2.
your, yeah.
Yeah. Well, cool.
So
Huh.
that's your
Quite
magic items that everyone found.
Quite interesting.
Now, we found 4 rounds of items, so I'm going to put 4 die in attention pool, and then I'm going to roll it. Because that's a long time
Ooh.
we spent searching through the pile. Here.
It's been a
See if anything
long
happens.
day. And keep in mind, I had
I know,
I had
your
Brad
dude was on watch.
patrolling.
All right, guys. I've finished patching myself. Let's look for items.
Zavkug. All right. Several things happen. Zavkug,
Oh no.
while you're sitting and patching yourself up, you notice a torn scrap of fabric on just like the closest pile of the closest part of the pile of debris, and you're like making bandages. You're like, maybe this will work for me. It's not quite long enough. But as you're looking at it, you recognize the embossed logo of Private Security Goons TM on this
Oh no.
on this fabric. It is also not dusty or worn enough to have been here since the tower fell. You know that it is fairly new. So that's one thing that happens. The other thing that happens is while Jeb is Scrooge McDucking, he also Scrooge McDucks up some sentient gray ooze. And the sentient gray ooze is going to make an attack against you, Mr. Jebediah. Let's see here.
Miska, Muska, Mickey,
Mickey
Jeb.
Mouse. Oh,
It rolled a 15 to hit. Does that hit you?
Oh, yes. Well,
Or
actually,
after the AC items.
hold on. Well, I
I've
wouldn't
got
be able
the
to
AC
don.
items here.
You said 15? Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to don the armor, but the Ring of Protection wouldn't bring it up either.
Okay. So it hits you for 6 bludgeoning damage as it basically contracts and expels some of the debris up into you. And then it also hits you for some acid damage. It hits you for another 6 points of acid damage and the acid begins to eat very corrosively away at like the shoulder of your jacket. It doesn't ruin it. It's not like in tatters, but it begins to like burn a clear hole through it, basically,
Oof.
to match
Ouch,
the bullet
right
hole
in my
your hat.
acid.
Ow. I'm going to try use my action if I can to like disengage from it and move away.
Okay, so you will say, I'm trying to think. So you're laying down like Scrooge McDucking. Well, I guess laying and sitting are the same for you, really, because at your height.
He's crawling.
Yeah,
He's used to digging through
so maybe
holes.
you like
He's
throw
tunneling.
yourself to the side and like roll away from it. Does that seem like a thing he would do?
Either that or he could like water spout out the top, just like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He like takes up the pile and shoot. That's way funnier. I like
Yep.
that image better. Jeb shoots out the top of the pile of debris with like a little yow and kind of lands, and it's not up there with you anymore. You left it behind, so that ends
Yow!
the encounter. But
Jeb, man, you okay?
No, that ooze thing got my burn a hole in my jacket.
That's what I feared. I think it's time for us to head back to the
Can I,
the
is
kitchen.
magic, the rod's still on, right?
Yeah, we got it on. Would you mind mending
Okay.
this for me?
Yeah,
last I
I'll
heard, you
cast
switched
mending.
it off actually, because we triggered a magical effect when you came into the room. Right?
Ah.
You said you were waiting for any magic to switch it off.
Yes, I believe that is what happened.
Okay. You can switch it
Oh,
back
okay,
off.
well,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna roll on the table again to see if
What I
Turn
would
back on.
recommend before Alan will before we do that, I would recommend possibly passing the piano again with the rod off, keeping
Yeah,
the
let's
rod
do
off
that.
until then, and then possibly turning it back on to check mending.
Dang, that burns. I think it got my fur.
It'll
We'll
be
get it
okay,
fixed.
man.
Okay,
I'll patch it up.
let's go to the cafeteria, and I got some stuff I want to show you guys that I found, and then we'll go past the piano and keep digging down. But
Yep.
I think we wanna look at some of this stuff. Good idea coming back here, Zoth.
Fox, you can
Well-
speak again.
Fine, Jeb.
Whoa, inside voice.
Yeah, Jeb.
I said your name. I'm getting all your wingle digits.
Nope, it was outside of the time limit.
Ah, damn.
You gotta read the terms and conditions, man. You know
That's
this.
right. Hey, Zoth, I got some for you.
Oh?
Yeah, I got this helmet here.
Oh.
Lets you understand languages, like let you understand people and stuff. I can already do that with the rod. Looks pretty dope on you.
How do I look?
Ooh.
How does he look, DM?
Roll a charisma check.
God awful.
Oh, this thing looks cool, y'all.
I got a 7.
Oh no.
It,
It
looks
does not
cool,
look cool.
but it is like way too small for him, so it sits on top of his head instead of actually covering his head like a helmet. It's like the little yarmulkes where it just attaches to a little piece of his head. It like goes over his bun, right? Like he has his hair pulled up in that like warrior's bun.
Yeah.
It goes over that. So it's cool looking but comically small on Zoth's head.
Nice. It looks decorative.
I'll take it.
Kind of an Uncle Iroh flair to that.
Fox. I've got some
yes.
leather armor for you. Do you wear armor?
I mean, I do under these. And I,
Is it like
Shift to
just
shirt.
regular leathers, or is it like studded or something? This stuff's studded here.
I don't think this is studded. I think it's just boring, normal,
Here, slip out of that.
non-magical.
Here, I'll help you into this stuff.
Ah,
And Jeb
yeah.
holds up like this little gnome-sized leather studded armor. I can't wear this thing. Like I can't cast spells when I wear this
I
stuff. But
don't think I'm gonna fit in that.
it should resize to fit you.
You
Like
You sure?
normally stuff. Yeah. Well, see, it's got a glamour enchantment on it. Normally stuff that's enchanted will resize to fit the wearer. So like the last dude that wore this was probably like a gnome or something. But
Remind
the
me
cool
what that
thing,
one's
like you
called.
can. What's that?
Remind me what that one's called.
This is called glamored studded leather.
Got it.
So it's got a glamour charm on it, which means that you can change the what the clothes look like. So I'm thinking this is perfect for you. You change how you look like, and you change your clothes. You know those times in the past where you've like shapeshifted into somebody, but your uniform was
Okay.
different. Now you can like change the glamour to have it like change
Just,
your clothes to look
Changes
like.
here.
with you, man. That's
hand,
so
Yeah.
hand that
cool.
over, and let me just. I'll duck behind this rock over here.
We're all friends here, man. It's nothing we haven't seen.
Just shapeshift yourself into a Ken doll. That'd be fine.
I mean, that's a good answer.
Whatever. But anyway, this is for you. Yeah, this is for you.
All right, I undress in Ken doll fashion, and then attempt to squeeze one of my arms through one of the armholes.
It resizes to fit you.
This
Yeah,
is
it's pretty rad, huh?
okay.
The armor grants a +1 bonus to AC.
Ooh.
Studded armor does? I thought it does more than that.
Glamored studded leather does. I'm reading it right out of the DMG right now.
You are correct. Well, no, it's AC 12 plus Dex is what I'm saying. Oh, because
DMG page 172. While wearing this armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. You can also use a bonus action to speak the armor's command word and cause the armor to assume the appearance of a normal set of clothing or some other kind of armor. Fox, what's
You are
the command
correct.
word? What's your command word? Maybe you get to pick it.
Ooh.
the difference though is that studded leather armor.
I feel like
is
it whispers
AC
in my
12.
mind.
So this should actually give you AC 13 plus your Dex because it's studded leather armor that's magical, so it gets the magical +1, and then you get your Dex mod on top of it.
I get what you're saying.
But, sorry, that's boring DM stuff. My bad.
I'm gonna go ahead and imagine that there's a whisper in my head that's just like, speak the words.
Ooh.
And
Whoa.
It's the tag on the back. It says Oshkosh Bagash.
I'm gonna add a die to the tension pool while you debate.
mischievous.
Mischievous.
And my clothes, the armor turns into what my normal clothes usually look like.
Whoa, man, that's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and it looks. I mean, this even looks better than my old shirt.
Looking shiny like bubbles.
Brad the homunculus shrugs his little wings like it looks the same to me.
Okay. All
Which,
right.
in a way, is actually a compliment to the armor that it looks the same as it previously did.
I like this. This is okay, Jeb. I
Quite
guess I
useful
will
items.
not be taking all your wingle digits for saying your name. I'll let that one down.
Well, if that's all, I believe it would be convenient for us to pass the piano with the rod off, and then we can
Did you find anything, Alan?
mend.
Yeah, what'd you guys find?
I found a few things. I found some bracers of defense. These guys, and I will hold up his fists, and
Ooh,
I
nice.
already feel a bit more defended by these. It's quite because it's magical. It feels quite more dependable than I've just tried wearing armor in the past, and you guys have seen it. It just doesn't.
It's pretty constricting, man.
It's quite constricting.
mean,
This is much better.
Yeah, it messes me up. I found this ring that gives me like one little bit more protection, which is kind of cool.
This feels similar to that. I also found a rope that seemed. I believe what it would do is, it can entangle people, creating difficult terrain. With around them, with like wrapping around them and such. I also found this dust, which, if I'm not mistaken, I can use to essentially shrink water into pellets, and then release the water when I would like to, which is quite interesting. I think there could be quite a lot of interesting applications of that. And then finally, I found this, and he pulls out from his behind his pack, where his next to his javelin, he'll pull out the scimitar. It feels, and he'll kind of strike the air with it, and it cuts through the air very quickly. It feels quite fast and quite dexterous. So I like that aspect of it, but I think, and he kind of moves it around, like it kind of feels unbalanced to him right now. He's like, I think I'll need some time to get used to it.
If we're all gonna bring out all the stuff we found as we're walking and talking,
I think walking and talking while we do this is good.
Yep.
I found
Holy
this
cow!
thingamajig that locks peoples to planes of existence, or something like that. I don't know. It's a really tiny script. I can't really get a good read on it. And a couple of potions. This one's labeled big, and this one's labeled health. So
Can
if I
I
put
see
them
that for a second?
together, will that make big health?
Perhaps.
The big
Here,
brain
yeah,
strat.
I hand them over to Jeb. Yeah, look at the. You can
Take
look
a
at the
taste.
potions.
Of which
Of,
one?
of which one?
The health one.
You regain whatever
Well,
it
you're
is,
supposed to
Matt.
be able to determine what it is by
Oh,
taking
really?
a taste of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. You figure out what it is.
Oh yeah. No, this. Oh wow. This one would be really great for a pinch. This one here.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
greater healing potion, and this one does like the growing thing. You know, like when I use my growth spell.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
all
super
right.
useful. I hand them back.
Well, I'll be hanging on to these.
Yeah.
Good finds, everyone. Good finds.
Don't use that during our next trust fall, please.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, where are we
You head
headed
towards
here?
the door of the cafeteria, and I clear the tension pool from your time spent walking and talking.
Yep, the rod is off.
The rod is off.
Walking and talking.
All right.
Do our magic items deactivate when the rod is off?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so I
That
need
makes
to
sense.
mark my AC when my
I guess that's going to
AC
get
is off.
mathematically complex for you now. Sorry. I'm not that sorry.
No,
You
it's
got a
all right.
bunch of cool magic items.
I do. Yeah, it's how I do.
Okay, you're approaching the double doors that Owlin, you remember as a youngster pushing open and preparing to hide in the cafeteria, the ones that lead down to all the workrooms with their fascinating experiment chambers and whatnot. That space, by the way, is probably destroyed. Glass everywhere. I mean, it was a pillar suspended through the middle of the tower, so there's probably all kinds of wreckage down there. You have no idea what awaits you. But you also hear something else that troubles you a little bit on the other side. You start to hear voices. You hear voices and footsteps, and it sounds like a lot of them. And people are yelling back to each other. You said you heard something back up this way? And someone else is going, yeah, man, I'm telling you, I heard something. We got to go check it out. You hear someone, just some different sounds of people mustering and organizing.
Alan's gonna quickly go into military mode, and he maybe doesn't realize that everyone else around him may not understand, but he's gonna do a form up, get to the get around the walls and get ready to sneak attack kind of hand motions, and then get his sword out and hide behind the door, basically trying to position himself so that they won't see them if they open the door, but then they can get the sneak attack, the surprise round.
Roll
when they
a
enter.
charisma check with advantage. I'm not going to roll. Each of the rest of you is going to roll a charisma check normally, and if Owlin rolls higher than you, then you understand what he's motioning.
I got a nat 20.
I got a nat 20.
Well, what's your charisma bonus?
Attacker wins in a tie, so you understand what he's saying. Those are
I got a 19.
I got a 2.
What a great set of rolls from everyone except Matt. Okay, so you all understand perfectly what Owlin is motioning to you.
I go up against the wall behind the door next to Alan.
Soldier stuff. I'm
And
gonna post
then-
up behind Alan's calf.
I won't say anything, but I'll pull out the scrap I found and forgot to tell everyone about.
Alan's pre-raging.
Pre-raging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Zoth didn't tell us.
I love that. Okay, so you're all stacked up against the wall. I need the marching order here.
Yeah.
Alan's in front. Who's right
Yeah.
behind Alan?
Jeb said he was at Alan's calf.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
Jeb's next.
technically I'm right. Sorry, I didn't mean to take your turn.
Jeb's next.
Then Zoth.
And then Fox.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
guys are all stacked up at the door.
Yeah. As right when we get up, Zoth will just pull out the scrap and show everyone and just whisper, "It's fresh."
Okay, so we know it's private security goons TM.
Yep. And as you realize that it is at least one, maybe two bands of private security goons approaching you, we close this chapter of tonight's episode of the Winged Badger Tavern.
Oh.
We'll find out what happens next Monday.
Why would you do this to me?
But
Why would
until then,
how come?
well, why would I do it to you? Because it's fun to leave on like a strong note and keep you guys wanting, and also so we have some time to go hang out in After Vibe in case anyone from chat wants to. If you jump in our Discord, you can join us in the After Vibe, or we'll see you next Monday. But until then, from all of us here at the Winged Badger Tavern, a hearty GG's and a lovely GN. Bye, everybody.
Bye.